going on in a video tab. So, hey, welcome in everybody here to Final Yard Football on YouTube, as I'll be streaming this game for you guys. Monday Night Football on its way. Houston Texans versus the New Orleans Saints. Right now, I got two computers going on and a stream on my computer that I found ESPN on. So, I had to lower the bit rate here just a little bit on the YouTube stream. It's not that much, though. So, there's a lot of computers running, but thanks so much, guys, for joining me back on YouTube. Ryan, once again, what's good? Same as Vegas Vic. So, yeah, we got a pretty interesting matchup here. Houston Texans going up against the New Orleans Saints. For sure, this game's on ESPN on Monday Night Football. So, looking at the New Orleans Saints right now, Drew Brees, 19th season in the NFL right now for Drew Brees, and these are his numbers. 3,992 passing yards, 32 passing touchdowns last season, along with 5 interceptions for Drew Brees, as he's the 12-time Pro Bowl quarterback here for the New Orleans Saints. As far as the running game's going, Alvin Kamara, the main back now in the backfield for New Orleans Saints right now, is Alvin Kamara coming off a huge season last season for the Saints. 709 reception yards, which ranked 5th in the NFL. 14 rushing touchdowns, which ranked 2nd in the NFL. So, a lot of good stuff there from Alvin Kamara, and possibly trying to make a running there for up towards one of the best players this season, towards like the MVP or so. Yeah, Joshua Dobbs today from Pittsburgh got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I guess they have just no answer for a starting quarterback for Jacksonville now that they put Joshua Dobbs there to be the backup. So really interesting now about that. Yeah, Jaguars for sure definitely need quarterbacks. I guess they're going with a rookie Gardner Minshew for the rest of the season, who's a 6th-round draft pick from Washington State. So I guess they're going with him, the rookie, for the rest of the season. So doesn't look good in Jacksonville. That's for sure. Does not look good. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate for the Jaguars. So Nick Foles is down with a broken clavicle. First game starting, looking forward to that, and then Nick Foles gets injured. So that's just so unfortunate. But yeah, right now, we are in the stream, like, probably like 5 minutes away from kickoff or so. I might be a little bit behind you guys right now because I am streaming off a laptop, so it might be like a couple, like a minute and a half behind the actual game of what actually goes out. Yeah, Jaguars looking like they're probably going to tank. There's some really, like, bad teams bottom of the barrel. We haven't seen the Raiders tonight, though, so interested to see what the Raiders look like for a little bit tonight. Hey, what's good, Brent? Thanks so much for joining me, man. Welcome back to YouTube, Brent. So yeah, right now, streaming from 2 different platforms. Sportscaster, my computer towards the left. YouTube here, straight away, right in front of me right now. Let's see here. Still having a little bit of problems with the bit rate. Just going to lower it just a little bit here for YouTube. I'll put 1800 on that. Yeah, my day was pretty good. I had work today. So, yeah, just got home from work like 5:30 or so and just ate dinner. So, yeah, I had a pretty good day, though, at work. So, that was awesome. It's politics time around the radio station, so it's time to get to record those campaign spots. Hey, what's good? Ramdot Pooney, who do you think's going to win? I got the Saints for this one, so I'm picking the Saints for this game. Let's see here, back on Sportscaster. Hey, what's good, Lumos? Thanks so much for joining me back on here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster. I appreciate it, Lumos. Triet here on the Sportscaster saying Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack, John Gruden can build a playoffs, but not in Oakland. For sure. Yep. Amari Cooper now with the Cowboys. That whole Cowboys offense just has been tearing it up so far in that Week 1 game against the Giants. They just absolutely tore the Giants to pieces in the secondary. Alright, guys. We are getting ready for Monday Night Football like any minute from now. No spoilers in the stream, by the way. I'm streaming from a computer here, so I'm probably like a minute behind in the actual game, but hopefully I can keep you guys up throughout. So yeah, Monday Night Football, here we go. We're getting ready. We got the introductions right now. Texans versus Saints. As this one is at the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Justin Herbert is pretty good from Oregon. Probably, though, whoever gets, like, the #1 pick will get Tua. That's looking like the Dolphins right now. That's looking like the Dolphins so far. So they'll probably get Tua. The Patriots get the Dolphins next week. It's at Miami. My favorite YouTuber? I like all the, like, the sports highlight stuff. Highlight Heaven's pretty cool with his YouTube stuff. He uploads all that, like, the NFL highlights and all that stuff. So, yeah, guys, right now we're actually on 2 different platforms streaming this game. We're actually on YouTube, and we're also on Sportscaster. Feel free to check me out on Sportscaster as well. So, this game getting started right now on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So, the Saints will kick off this ball to start out this game. So, the Houston Texans will get it first. So, Houston back to receive this ball. As we get ready for kickoff right now. And that ball goes to the back of the end zone. So the Houston Texans will get this ball right back. Right now to start out this game from their own 25 for the Texans offense here. Alright, here we are getting ready for action. Monday Night Football right now. Texans versus Saints. Deshaun Watson in the ace formation in the backfield right now. That's Duke Johnson, and he's going to hand it off left side right now to the running back. Gains 5 off the tackle. Gains around 9 on the play. That was actually Carlos Hyde who got that run for a gain of 9. So Texans right there with a good chunk to start out. 2nd and 1 coming up for Houston. So Carlos Hyde traded from the Kansas City Chiefs on August 31st to the Houston Texans right now. Brings up a 2nd and 1. With a ball at the 29 for Houston. Houston now with the ball. Shotgun formation. Deshaun. He'll go HB drop the middle to Hyde. Hyde past the 35 to the 37. First down. So Carlos Hyde right there putting together some pretty good drives right now for the Houston Texans to start off. First 2 plays resulting in a first down after the first 2 plays here for Houston. Shotgun formation going empty. Deshaun Watson, the quarterback, going 5 wide right now. We get a flag down, though. We got movement. Looks like on the offensive end, so movement there by the Houston Texans, it appears to be. Let's see what the refs call is. We have 14 minutes left to go in the first. False start by the offense. So 5-yard penalty. It'll back up the Texans a little bit. That's the tight end, number 87, Darren Fells, with a 5-yard penalty. So that's the big concern here for the Houston Texans going into this game is the tight end position right now. Is they have Darren Fells, the starting tight end, as he only had 117 reception yards last season for the Cleveland Browns. The other tight ends are Jordan Atkins, Jarrell Adams, and Logan Paulson. Minimal playing time for those players in the NFL. Logan Paulson is now in his 10th season in the NFL. Deshaun Watson takes the snap. That pass low for his intended wide receiver on a check down pass. And it's incomplete to Duke Johnson. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 15 coming up for the Texans. So Malcolm Brown there on the defensive line for the Saints was signed in the offseason from the New England Patriots. Looking at some of the other players here. A.J. Klein, the linebacker. Eli Apple in the secondary. Marshawn Lattimore, P.J. Williams, Marcus Williams. Second and 15 here. Texans going empty once again. Shotgun formation right now for Deshaun Watson. Watson takes the snap. Drops back to pass. Passes it down the middle of the field. It is complete to DeAndre Hopkins, but short of the first down. Brings up a 3rd down. So there's the Pro Bowler. DeAndre Hopkins, number 2 wide receiver from last season, as he was 2nd in the NFL in receiving yards. Only Julio Jones was better than him in receiving yards. So, brings up a 3rd down coming up for the Houston Texans. If you guys are here now and new to my YouTube channel, hit that like down below. Hit that subscribe button as well. 3rd and 4 coming up. 13 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Sean Payton going over to the refs right now. Maybe he's trying to ask them if that was incomplete. Let's see. So rolling on the field was a completed pass to DeAndre Hopkins, but Sean Payton here wants the refs to check out this one. So they're going to go to the booth right now to review this catch, and we'll see what we got as this is the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So right now we are on a commercial break on this stream. So we just got started. Texans with the ball, and we have about 13 minutes left to go in the first quarter right now on the stream. So they're looking up into the boot to see if that was a catch or not with DeAndre Hopkins. It would be short of the first down, though, on the last play. So last pass to Deshaun Watson, passed the ball over the short part of the middle of the field to DeAndre Hopkins, and he was down around the 33-yard line for Houston. If it was a completed catch, it will bring up a 3rd and 4 coming up for the Texans if that catch was completed. So yeah, just right now on commercial break, should be getting ready to go back to this game after we got confirmation of this last play here. Just making sure everything's going right. I'm streaming on 2 platforms right now. Yep, I'm on Sportscaster and I'm on YouTube, by the way. So 2 different platforms, just making sure everything's panning out to go correctly. I believe it is. I think everything's going through right now. Alright, so 0-0 game. We just got started here with this one. Dolphins shouldn't tank for Tua. That's what Vegas Vix is saying. It'll be interesting to see what Tua turns out to be. Like, a lot of these young quarterbacks coming from college, like, it'll be interesting to see what they turn out to be when they come to the NFL. Josh Rosen. You feel like Josh Rosen will be the quarterback. I think they're sticking with Fitzpatrick upcoming for this game against the Patriots on Sunday, but maybe they'll turn the keys to Rosen right after Fitzpatrick has another disaster. I heard that a bunch of the Miami players, too, wanted to, like, ask for a trade right after that whole disaster they had against Baltimore yesterday. So that was an incomplete pass. So the Saints won that challenge right there. So Sean Payton getting the refs to challenge that one from the booth, and the Saints win it. It's an incomplete pass, overturned, and now it'll be a 3rd and 15 for the Houston Texans. So that pass by Deshaun Watson could not hit DeAndre Hopkins. 3rd and 15 now for Houston. Shotgun formation for Deshaun with a running back towards his left. 4 wide right now. Deshaun takes the snap, drops back to pass, rushed out towards his right. He gets sacked. Back at the 27-yard line, and it looks like it'll be just like that. The Saints defense coming back where they were last season. They were really strong, and this New Orleans Saints defense picking up where they left off last season. As the Houston Texans will have to punt this ball away to New Orleans here on a 4th and 21 with 13 minutes left to go in the first. So back to return this punt right now, Deontay Harris, the rookie from Assumption College, a Division II college from Worcester, Massachusetts, back out to return this punt here for the New Orleans Saints. Trevor Daniel will be the punter for Houston. Daniel punts this ball away, as this is a booming punt to around the 19-yard line, gets fielded there, past the 25, left side, past the 30, gets tackled at the 33 by the returner, Deontay Harris, for the New Orleans Saints. So right now, Drew Brees in the offense, coming out onto the field in just a moment. I'm going to check the flag, though. There is a flag in the play, so we'll see what this is about. We have 12:39 left to go in the first quarter here. So it looks like a legal block in the back by the return team for the Saints. So a legal block in the back right there by the return team for the New Orleans Saints on the play. And Drew Brees in the offense will start off on this next possession. So Von Bell, the strong safety, with the illegal block in the back on the last play. So here we are, guys. Year number 19 here for Drew Brees out on the field once again for the New Orleans Saints right now. So Drew Brees out here in the shotgun formation right now 40 years old, 19 seasons in the NFL. Takes a snap, swing over past the Kamara. Kamara takes it past the 15, past the 20, down the right sideline. Gain of 8 on the play by Alvin Kamara. The PPR threat, yes, indeed he is. Pick him up if he's somehow, someway in the fantasy football waiver wire. Alvin Kamara just produces each and every week, and now he's the lead back for New Orleans. So Mark Ingram went to the Baltimore Ravens in the offseason. By the way, he had a huge day yesterday against the Dolphins. And now the Saints get the backup running back, Latavius Murray, who played for the Minnesota Vikings last season. 2nd and 1 here for Breeze. Ball at the 23-yard line. Breeze in the shotgun. Kamara to his right. 3 wide towards the left, 1 wide up top. Breeze takes the snap, drops back to pass over the middle. Complete first down. Michael Thomas pats the 45 to the 47-yard line. He gets tackled out of bounds. Look at that, putting together already a drive here for the Saints, moving the ball up the field. So Michael Thomas with a big catch up the field, and it's a first down. I love Drew Brees' poise right there in the pocket. Man-to-man coverage, and Michael Thomas will beat that every single time. Yeah, Ryan, this could be it with Eli or so. If this Giants team just doesn't get their act together, I like them to give some more reps to Daniel Jones throughout the season if nothing goes the Giants' way. Breeze takes the snap, flushed out to his right now, passes right side. That one is complete. And again, around 3 on the play to midfield to Latavius Murray. So Latavius Murray, the running back, caught his first pass of the game. He's coming over right now. Running back from the Minnesota Vikings. He had 578 rushing yards last season, 6 rushing touchdowns, and now he's on the New Orleans Saints. So Michael Thomas already with a big hookup on a catch in this game right now. Drew Brees, ace formation for the Saints. 2nd and 7 coming up, ball at midfield for the Saints right now. Brees under center, I formation for New Orleans. Brees takes the snap, drops back to pass, feels the pressure, swings it over right there to Murray. Murray with a stiff arm, gains only 1 on the play, passes midfield at the 49 of Texans territory. Saints have been great what they've been able to piece together so far in this game. Yeah, Cowboys offense yesterday with Dak was on fire. That is for sure. They were on fire yesterday. The Giants blown so many coverages though. The Giants just blew so many coverages left and right in that game. I'm going to see if I can just lower this bit rate a little bit because it's still buffering on my end here with a YouTube video. Alright, here we are, back to action. Saints drop this one on the snap, and Brees steps back, passes right side, but they're a little bit short of the first down. So that pass goes to Ted Ginn Jr., but he's about 2 yards short before the first down marker. Now, bring up a punting situation here for the Saints. So 4th and 2 coming up. $9:35 left to go in the first quarter right now, and look at this, the Saints. Okay, they're going to be punting away, so appeared that they were going to go for it for a moment, but the Saints are going to punt this ball away. So they're in the punting formation right now. Thomas Morstead will be the punter here for New Orleans. As he gets this ball, he punts it at the 45, and this ball goes all the way back. Fair catch at the 10-yard line for Houston, and they take the fair catch right there. So the Texans coming back out on offense on Final Yard Football on YouTube and the Sports Dish on Sportscaster when we get back to action here. On both of these platforms right now, feel free to check me out as I'm on 2 different live platforms streaming. But so far, 0-0. Both of these teams haven't been able to capitalize on their first drive of the game. Deshaun Watson and the Texans coming up right after the commercial break. So yeah, right now we've reached this commercial break. We'll get back to this game action in just a little bit. I'll put up my Sportscaster link, by the way. If you guys would like, feel free to check me out there, as I'll be streaming live on that one as well. I'll put that on YouTube for you guys, so feel free to check me out on that link if you guys would like. But yeah, Dak Prescott yesterday was on fire. Over 405 yards passing in the air last night by Dak, and that Giants defense just got ripped apart in the secondary yesterday. They struggled all over the map trying to cover receivers, just like Pittsburgh did yesterday, trying to cover Dorsett. Dorsett snuck behind the secondary on 2 separate occasions in yesterday's game against Pittsburgh. I am concerned about the Steelers this season. Behind Juju Smith-Schuster, there's no other wide receiver that stood out for Pittsburgh. Dante Moncrief yesterday was terrible. He got 10 targets, 3 receptions for 7 yards. And it was just an all-around team effort by the Patriots. Even without Antonio Brown, that's just way too difficult to stop. Yeah, I heard that today. So, yeah, Patriots released Lance Kendricks and Obi Melifonwu earlier today from the roster to make room for Antonio Brown. But it's going to be so difficult to stop the Pats this year. I can only name, like, 2, possibly 3 teams that can, like, give the Pats, like, a running or so. Maybe 4. Kansas City. Baltimore looks sharp. The Pats do play Baltimore on Sunday night. The Philadelphia Eagles, too. If they can get stuff together, they surprised me. The Redskins almost beat them. They were down 17-zip against Washington. And the rest of the teams, they were really weak. Redskins and Giants in back-to-back weeks during October. Alright, here we are back to action right now to this game. So, Laramie Tunsil traded over to the Texans on August 31st on cut-down roster day. We're back to action here. Handoff up the middle by Houston. Powers forward for a first down gain. Gain of 10 right there by Duke Johnson. So, Duke Johnson, the lead back right now for the Houston Texans, powers through for a first down. Ravens offense looks explosive. Last season, the Ravens offense scored 47 points in that Week 1 opener against Buffalo, and it seems like they pull out the hat every single Week 1 for the past, like, 2-3 seasons. Scoring 59 yesterday against Miami. 3 rushes for 24 yards right now by Houston as they get the snap. Watson passes over the middle of that pass. Deflected up in the air. Incomplete. Lucky it wasn't intercepted as we have a second down coming up for the Texans. That was lucky right there that ball wasn't picked by Houston, by the way, on the play. 42-38 record here by Bill O'Brien. 5th season as the head coach for the Houston Texans right now. 3 AFC South titles there for Bill O'Brien, and we have a 2nd and 10 coming up. Deshaun Watson struggling to pass the ball so far. 0 for 3. He's been sacked as well with 8.5 left to go in this first quarter. He's going empty. 5 wide right now for Watson. Ball at the 21-yard line of Houston territory. Watson calls the audible. Takes a snap, back to pass here for Watson. Feels the blitz and cannot get away from it. He's sacked down at the 17-yard line. That is the 2nd sack already in this game. This offensive line for Houston, it's been struggling the past 3 or 4 years with that offensive line. Constant struggles offensively on that line, and today the woes continue. 2 sacks in the early stages of this game right now. And Deshaun Watson, even a scrambling quarterback he is with 7:59 left to go in this first quarter, he is struggling to move out of that pocket right now with this constant pressure he's faced. 3rd and 14 coming up for the Texans. Watson in the shotgun once again, running back to Johnson towards his left. Watson takes the snap, passes underneath to Johnson. He's tackled immediately for around a gain of 6 on the play. Tackled at the 22 will bring up a 4th down punt here. So this Saints defense right now, forcing 3 and outs on back-to-back drives. Looking good so far for New Orleans as we have under 7.5 left to go in this first quarter. 4th and 8 coming up here as we get a punting situation coming onto the field now for the Houston Texans. So Trevor Daniel back on to punt this ball. Deontay Harris will be back to receive here with 7 minutes left to go in the first quarter. As the Texans punt this ball away. And that punt will go fielded at the 35. Past the 40 here. Harris to midfield. He gets tackled right at the New Orleans logo. So a 15-yard return to start New Orleans. Starting out with great field possession here. Coming up after this commercial break with Drew Brees in the company and the offense. And of course, if you're the Houston Texans, please do not try to guard Michael Thomas on a one-on-one because he'll beat you basically every time like he did on that first drive. Hopefully, the Texans defense and the secondary learn that lesson because it's going to be tough throughout the remainder of this game. But right now, we are on 2 platforms at once, streaming here on the Sports Dish on Sportscasters. We have 6:47 left to go in the first quarter. when we do get back. And we're also on YouTube, by the way. If you guys are on YouTube, hit that like down below. Hit that subscribe button as well. So Monday Night Football tonight. This is my only stream, by the way, tonight. The other game, Broncos versus Raiders, that's a late night game. I'm from Massachusetts on the East Coast, so that game's not starting until probably like, I don't even know that start time. It's like past 10 o'clock for the start time, I believe. It's so late. 10:20 p.m. is the start time. Yeah, I'm not staying up for that. That's so late. So this is my only game tonight. Thursday I won't be able to stream the next 2 Thursdays because I actually don't have NFL Network at my house. I don't have cable here at my house, but I'm able to stream ESPN off my laptop right now. I'm able to find ESPN, so I got up the game from my laptop, but I can't access NFL Network because that's like a pay channel, but I'll be back on Sunday, hopefully. I'm going to Connecticut, so I should be back for the Patriots game. I'll probably do what I did today and just go in, do like a scheduled video like 20 minutes beforehand when I do get home. But yeah, right now we are on commercial break, just waiting to get back to action here, and the Saints will have the ball when we do at midfield. Yeah, for sure. The Texans just need an offensive line in order to protect Deshaun Watson. He can become just an elite quarterback. What he was doing was incredible before he went down with an ACL injury in his rookie season. But it's just the offensive line that struggled there, or so, for the Texans. It's been like the past few years now that they've struggled, because Lamar Miller's come over as running back, and unfortunately for him, he tore his ACL in the offseason. But I remember a couple times I had Lamar Miller on my fantasy team for Houston, and there were some of the games that he would run the ball like 20 carries or something and get like only like 40, 50, 60 yards out of it. Alright, but here we are, guys, getting ready to go back to action right now. 6:57 left to go in the first quarter. Drew Brees going empty right now in the shotgun formation. Oh, and then he has a running back in motion right now. Kamara goes into motion, takes the snap, hands it off. Kamara, left side. HB Reed gains around 7 on the play. So Alvin Kamara down around the 43, 44-yard line as the Saints are already in here to Texans territory. The 99 watts with J.J. Watt when he tackles you. J.J. Watt last season with 16 sacks, by the way. That was second in the NFL. Brees takes the snap, passes down the middle of the field, incomplete, a little bit too high right there, intended for Jared Cook. Brings up a 3rd and 3. Uncharacteristic throw right there from Drew Brees. Just overshot Jared Cook on the play. Jared Cook coming in as he was the tight end last season for the Oakland Raiders. Had his best season in Oakland a year ago, too. 896 receiving yards, 6 touchdown receptions. He spent now, this is his 11th season in the NFL for Jared Cook. Comes over as a tight end. Ben Watson now plays for the Patriots, but he does have that 4-game suspension coming from retirement with the PEDs. Drew Brees takes the snap, passes left side, complete. First down, Michael Thomas to the 30, past the 30 to the 26-yard line, out of bounds. Michael Thomas so far, 2 targets, 2 catches in this game for number 13 as he's been able to gain separation so far in action tonight. We're going to look towards some of the box score stuff actually here. Let's see what Michael Thomas has been able to put together in this game here. 2 receptions for 38 yards. His long reception right now is a 24-yard reception by Michael Thomas. Can't guard Mike. Drew Brees right now, 6 for 7, 55 yards in the air. Brees takes the snap, hands it off, end around to Kamara. Kamara lost the football. He got chopped up big time, but his offensive lineman recovered it. Luckily for him. Bradley Roby just undercut Alvin Kamara, and I believe I can fly, yes indeed, with Alvin Kamara. It's good to see that he was okay on that play. He just got undercut right there by Bradley Roby. Man, flying like a helicopter down to the ground by Kamara. And then the ball came out, but I believe his knee was down. So, anyway, an offensive lineman recovered the football. So, it won't be anything against the Saints right now. But, yeah, he just got completely undercut on that exact play. Got his feet just taken out right there. Glad to see that he's okay. Drew Brees takes the snap right now. Look at the pass. It passes down the middle of the field. Complete once again. Michael Thomas, gain of 3. Brings up a 3rd down with 4:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Some big-time catches so far by Michael Thomas in action. His 3rd reception already in this first quarter right now. 3rd and 4 coming up. Can't guard Mike with 4.5 left to go in this first quarter. 125 receptions last season by Michael Thomas. Actually led the NFL. Back-to-back seasons in the Pro Bowl as well for Michael Thomas here. 3 receptions, 43 yards already. Breeze in the shotgun. Takes the snap forward wide. Passes right side. That one complete. First down. Drew Brees hitting his mark right there to the tight end, Jared Cook. That's a huge acquisition right here for the New Orleans Saints to get Jared Cook. And this offense is cooking right now for Drew Brees and company. Putting together a solid drive with under 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Just chunking time off the clock. But right now, they are delivering on this drive. Breeze under center right now as we have the ace formation. Taysom Hill into the game towards his right. Hands it off though. Breeze up the middle to Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray gets around 5 in the play. Takes it to the 11-yard line. In the red zone right now for the New Orleans Saints. Ball at the Houston 11. 2nd down coming up for the Saints. So Latavius Murray, the power back from the Minnesota Vikings, coming over now to the New Orleans Saints. Gets the carry. 3:15 left to go in this first quarter. 2nd and 5 coming up with the ball at the 11. Oh, man, that's tough. Michael Thomas or DeAndre Hopkins? That is tough. I'd probably say Michael Thomas. I like Michael Thomas. Breeze. Back to pass. Pumps once. Throwing towards his right. And he gets intercepted. Whitney Merciless with a pick down at the 6-yard line. A red zone turnover, uncharacteristic of Drew Brees, and he throws the INT when he's got the ball at the 11-yard line. That is uncharacteristic right there by Drew Brees. Whitney Merciless with a pick right there for the Houston Texans. Wow, what a game changer at this stage of the game. The Saints had a chance to go up 7-0. And then that just happened. That is a game changer right now. Wow. That is just a huge game changer at this point. Wow. So we go to commercial break right now on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So right now we are at commercial break. Looking at the numbers so far, Drew Brees was chunking together a drive. 8 for 10, 66 yards, but it led in an interception to Whitney Merciless, who jumped right in front of that pass. Drew Brees, yeah, he just should have threw it away, Brent, that's for sure. He's flushed out towards his right. That's something that Drew Brees hardly ever gets to do, is scramble towards like his right or left. He's usually a pocket passer like 98% of the time, and unfortunately there, Drew Brees had it picked by Whitney Merciless, but great defensive play for the Houston Texans to stay in this game, because offensively here with Deshaun Watson, it's just hasn't been able to get together so far. 1 for 4 passing by Deshaun, only 6 yards through the air. He also has taken 2 sacks in this game in the early stages right now. So that's what the numbers look like. If you guys are on Sportscaster, thanks so much for watching this video. Also as well on Final Yard Football over here on YouTube. 2 different platforms coming to you guys with this stream. So, wow, what an interception at this stage of the game. Monday Night Football, when the stakes are like that, the ball at the 11-yard line, and you cannot finish a drive. That kind of reminded me of the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. I was looking at the highlights when they played against the Seahawks, and they had like a couple of drives in the red zone that just like completely stalled, and they lost by 1 point. Randy Bullock missed a field goal too. Adam Vinatieri for the Colts missed 3 kicks against the Chargers. That game went into overtime. Actually, it was a 24-9 lead the Chargers had on the Colts, and then the Chargers blew it. The game went into overtime, and Chargers had the ball last and got the W. The other game, of course, Corey Vedvik, the kicker for the Jets. I called that game yesterday against the Bills, and Corey Vedvik missed an extra point, and he missed a field goal. I haven't heard anything about him yet. I don't believe he's got cut today, but that is just unfortunate for the Jets, because They lost 17-16. What a comeback, though, yesterday by the Buffalo Bills. Alright, here we are getting ready to go back to action. That's the first red zone interception by Drew Brees in the last 105 attempts. Deshaun Watson with a football right now from his own end zone. Back to pass. Deep pass. Down the middle of the field here, Deshaun. And it is caught. Oh my goodness. It is caught by Will Fuller. First down. Right on the bullet right there by Will Fuller. That is a change of momentum in this game. Will Fuller going on a post route right there and securing that pass right over a Saints defender for a first down. That is an incredible haul right there. 1st and 10 now. Ball at the 40-yard line of Saints territory. Deshaun Watson, I formation right now. As he takes the snap, he'll hand it off right side to the running back. Takes it past the 40 to the 35. Chopped up at the 33. Gain of 7 on the play right there by Carlos Hyde. Wow, that was the game changer of this game so far. Will Fuller just going up over a defender and grabbing that pass. That was a 60, I believe it was like a, I believe it was a 55-yard pass in that last play. So let's see here. How do you think Antonio Brown will do with the Pats? I don't think he's gonna be like the biggest like fantasy football player, but he'll help out the Pats, I believe. If anybody can do it, it's Bill Belichick. We have a flag here in this upcoming play on the run up the middle. Looks like a hold there by the Texans. Yep, so holding by the offense on the run up the middle with 1:34 left to go in the first. So, Shontrell Henderson committed the hold, the offensive lineman right there for the Houston Texans. But yeah, if anybody can do it, it's Bill Belichick. The only difference that I see from Antonio Brown playing at Pittsburgh to New England is that he won't be the centerpiece of the offense. He's not going to get 12, 10, 15 targets per game. He's lucky if he gets like 6 to 8 targets per game. The reason why is because Tom Brady does it better than anybody else in the game, spreading out the ball to different wide receivers. Tom, of course, just always rewards the open wide receiver, and he's got plenty of them. Julian Edelman is still, I believe, Edelman's stock will be the most for like a PPR league for like receptions. That pass, screen pass over to Hopkins. Hopkins gets it past the 40 to the 35 and close to a first down right there on the 2nd and 13 play. And yes, indeed, DeAndre Hopkins did get it. Gain of 13 on the play. Gets it past the first down marker at the 30-yard line. Now in Saints territory. So yeah, I don't think Antonio Brown's going to receive like as many targets as he did from what he was receiving in Pittsburgh, but still he's able to play a role in that offense because he has to share targets now with Josh Gordon, James White, Julian Edelman, even Philip Dorsett with his 2 touchdowns yesterday. Improving. Alright, that run towards the left side, gained around 1 on the play right there by the Texans. So a 2nd down coming up right now. Duke Johnson Jr. got the run on the last carry. Yeah, that run was just going nowhere right there. It's been a huge concern for the Houston Texans once again this season with the run blocking. Ball at the 29-yard line, the Saints territory, as this clock goes down to the end of the first quarter, and we do indeed end one. So, at the end of the first quarter, still scoreless in this game, 0-0, as now we'll go to the second quarter on Final Yard Football on YouTube and the Sports Dish here on Sportscaster. Texans with the ball, and now at the 29-yard line of Saints territory. Hey, what's good, Anthony? Thanks so much for joining me here on the channel. I appreciate it, my man. So yeah, right now we just ended the first quarter. Scoreless game. Drew Brees had the ball at the 11-yard line of Texans territory, and uncharacteristically, Drew Brees was flushed out towards his right, and he threw an interception. It was picked off by Whitney Merciless at the 5-yard line. Next play, the Houston Texans had the ball. Deshaun Watson aired it out for a long pass down the middle of the field to an open wide receiver, Will Fuller. And that is the biggest play of the game so far. I'll get you the statistics here of what's going on in the first half. Will Fuller hauled in a 54-yard pass. 1 reception by Will Fuller, 54 yards, and that ridiculous catch over a defender. DeAndre Hopkins with a catch for 13 yards. On the other side here for New Orleans, the leading receiver, Michael Thomas, 3 receptions, 43 yards. Is Kenny Stills in the game? I haven't seen him get targeted yet. I'll see if I can see him, though, in the game for you in the next couple of plays here. He hasn't received, like, much attention. They've basically been going DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, and Kiki Kute, I believe, so far. I haven't seen a whole lot of Kenny Stills right now in the game, though. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully, we'll see him get targeted. Hopefully soon here for the Texans. So Kenny Stills, 7th season now in the NFL. Came over from the Miami Dolphins, played for Miami for the past 4 seasons, and now he's playing for Houston, number 12 for the Houston Texans. So right now we're on commercial break. We're going to get back to action here. Monday Night Football with play-by-play on this stream. So yes, scoreless right now. Interesting game. The Saints were just chunking down yards, taking off time off the clock, and that's what the Saints have done so far, is just take a bunch of time off the clock. Same as the Texans, actually. This first half just flew right by. The total play is pretty similar. Total yardage, though, actually belongs to the Texans because of that one big chunk play. 95 total yards right now by Houston compared to 79 yards total by the Saints so far in this game. So it was that big 54-yard pass by Will Fuller that's been the difference so far in action here. 2nd and 9 coming up as we are back to the second quarter here. Deshaun Watson with the ball, takes the snap, passes over the middle, diving, snag, and that is incomplete. Almost had it, was DeAndre Hopkins. What went off his fingertips, and it fell incomplete. Brings up a 3rd and 9 here for Houston. That was close to being a first down. That would have been one incredible catch if DeAndre Hopkins had hauled that one in. Trying to go for the diving catch, and he almost had it. If he had rolled over with the ball, he would have had that. He didn't bring it to his chest, though. He just couldn't snag it right in there. Couldn't bring it into his chest. His arms were extended a little bit too much. 3rd and 9 coming up. Ball at the 29-yard line of New Orleans. Shotgun formation right now for Hopkins towards his right. And Watson passes slant route up the middle of the field. That should be close to a first down. That was Hopkins with a catch. That's going to be really close. Hopkins saying first down. Ball placed at the 20. Refs might be coming out to measure this one right now. DeAndre Hopkins caught that ball in a slant, got tackled immediately by Marshawn Lattimore in the last play. So, 4th and 1 coming up. It appears that DeAndre Hopkins on the catch was a yard short. We have 14 and a half left to go here in the second quarter. Houston is going for it. This is a huge play call here by Bill O'Brien right now. They were going for it for a second, and then they took a timeout. So Texans will take a timeout here with 14-16 left to go in the second quarter right now. So timeout called on the field here by Houston to think some things over right now. We are on YouTube. Thanks so much all for joining me on YouTube. Also on the Sports Dish here on Sportscaster. Streaming this game here for you guys. The Houston Texans versus the New Orleans Saints. My only stream tonight. It'll be a late night when I do get to see that other game on in action. So this is the only game I'll be doing tonight. But yeah, Houston has a chance here. If they do go for it on a 4th down, it's going to be interesting what this play call is. We got a 4th and 1 coming up. Yeah, Hopkins and Lattimore. Lattimore coming in with a big tackle right on Hopkins on the last play. Okay, we have a 4th and 1 coming up. 14-19 left to go in the second. How about Miles Jack yesterday throwing punches against the Chiefs, getting ejected? Somebody else got ejected too in yesterday's game. I think it was 49ers against Buccaneers. Somebody from the 49ers got ejected against the Buccaneers yesterday. Alright, looks like they're going to take a commercial break, so a little bit more thinking about what to do for this next possession here for the Houston Texans. The ball will be spotted at the 21-yard line. Houston with a timeout, and a 4th and 1 coming up with 14-19 left to go in the second here on Final Yard Football on YouTube. Oh, wow, somebody from the Bengals got ejected too. Yeah, what I heard is there were a couple ejections in Week 1, actually. That was quite the game, though. Cincinnati against Seattle. I was looking at the highlights earlier today from what that game turned out to be. 21-20. Andy Dalton with a majestic pass to that was to John Ross. I can't believe John Ross. If he does have a breakout year, it could possibly be this season. Like, everybody thought that John Ross would break out last season, but instead it was Tyler Boyd. But now John Ross has the opportunity to have a chance here to break out for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I thought that Cincinnati would struggle to put up points at Seattle. And, man, I love the fight yesterday that Cincinnati had against Seattle, though. 21-20. Randy Bullock missed the field goal. They couldn't convert on a couple of times in the red zone, but Zach Taylor, first-year head coach, you got to like the effort, though, that they put in that game. But unfortunately, they were 1 point short. But yeah, John Ross had himself a day, and Andy Dalton right now is the #1 passer in the NFL for passing yards, like over 420-something yards passing, I believe, so far. And I wouldn't have told you that. If you guys were picking fantasy football for quarterback this week, I probably would have said no to Andy Dalton, like, avoid him, and he just went off this week. Yeah, if they just keep on going at it and turns into a fight, if punches are thrown, it's usually an automatic ejection if punches are thrown. I think there was a game yesterday where somebody threw a punch, and they just didn't eject them for some reason. But they're rolling on it here. They're challenging the call. So Texans challenging this call that they thought that DeAndre Hopkins was past the 20-yard line and got the first down as Marshawn Lattimore tackled him from behind. So the Texans trying to challenge the spot here, the ball, to see if they got the first down. The rolling on the field was a 4th down, short of the line to gain. We'll see if this call gets reversed. This is a huge call right now on the field. So, huge call coming up on the field here at this stage of the game between both of these teams. Oh, yeah, A.J. Green against Jalen Ramsey. The classic fights that's happened in the NFL from the past. Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree a few years ago with a chain. That was classic. Quinton Jefferson from the Seahawks throwing punches at the Jaguars fans. That was hilarious. I think that was last season. Alright, here's the call coming up. So, play will stand as it calls. So, it will be a 4th down coming up for Houston. So, this is a big call. So, this play will stand. And Houston has lost the timeout here, and they've lost the challenge. So, 2 timeouts before the half for the Houston Texans. As there will be a 4th and 1 coming up for Houston with the ball at the 21-yard line. So, Bill O'Brien with a challenge right there. Challenging the spot of the ball for Houston. And he thought that DeAndre Hopkins was past or about the 20-yard line at the first down marker with that ball past it. And the refs on the replay say that it appeared to be a yard short. So, 4th and 1. Texans are going for it with the ball at the 21. Shotgun formation right now for Watson. Watson takes the snap. And he's going to go quarterback keeper left side. He's past the first down marker. He's got the edge to the goal line. And is he over? No signal. Yes, we do. We have a signal. Touchdown. Houston. 21-yard rush on a quarterback keeper towards the left side by Deshaun Watson. And Houston strikes first 6-zip. What a start here by Deshaun Watson. What a play call as well by the offense. Offensive coordinator, kudos for the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson fakes that HB draw play up the middle to Carlos Hyde. He'll take it himself on the keeper towards the left side. Gets the edge, dives out towards the pylon, over the pylon for the touchdown run by Deshaun Watson. Just goes right over a New Orleans Saint right there. That was number 43 for New Orleans. Marcus Williams, he went straight over for the touchdown run by Deshaun Watson. Right into the pylon. We're going to look at the pylon camera here on the highlight reel by Deshaun Watson. Get up. I like that camera view they got, ESPN. That's an interesting camera. That's the first time. Great call right there by Bill O'Brien. 14-13 left to go in the second quarter, and the extra point coming on by Cammy Fairbairn to see if this can be 7-zip Houston. 7-play, 94 drive, totaling 3 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock, and a touchdown run, 21 yards by Deshaun Watson. Fairbairn on for the extra point. Kicks it up, straight through the upright, up and good. 7-zip now, Houston. The quarterback keeper, Deshaun Watson, takes it himself, and look at that. The red zone reception by Whitney Merciless on the interception. As Houston takes it the distance, 95-yard drive results in a touchdown. One of the big plays in that drive was a 54-yard pass to Will Fuller, which set up the touchdown. A 4th and 1, and the play call was like that for the Houston Texans. That is incredible coaching right there on that play call. That is a terrific play call. Kudos to Bill O'Brien, by the way, for putting that right together. That was fantastic. So, the Saints now will get this ball off the kickoff. So, the Texans will kick this ball off to the Saints, coming up with 14-13 now left to go in this second quarter on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So we see A.J. McCarron on the sidelines, the backup quarterback for the Houston Texans, just warming up a little bit right now as this kick goes off, and New Orleans going to return this from a yard deep in their end zone, past the 10 to the 15. They get tackled around the 21-yard line on that return by Deontay Harris, the rookie. So coming out once again, Drew Brees trying to chunk together a drive and finish it off this time for the New Orleans Saints, as last time he was at the 11-yard line and got picked off in the red zone. So Drew Brees back to action here, the 12-time Pro Bowler for the New Orleans Saints. So if you see Michael Thomas in a one-on-one, you got to hit that right on the target. If you see that mismatch, put it right up into Michael Thomas if you see him on the one-on-one. And we do at the bottom of the screen. He does. On a slant route, it's incomplete. A little bit wide of Michael Thomas right there. Drew Brees missed his mark on the passes. He had the matchup. Michael Thomas went for the quick slant route up the middle. Just Drew Brees missed his mark. It fell incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up for the New Orleans Saints right now with 14:05 left to go in the second quarter. So all day, if you got the matchup right there, Michael Thomas in the one-on-one coverage, just boom, just go for that. Go for that all day long if you're Drew Brees and the Saints. 2nd and 10 coming up for Brees. Brees in the shotgun, back to pass. Look at the pass. It passes. Check down right side. That one's complete. The Kamara gains around 5 on the play as he tumbles down. They'll bring up a 3rd and 5 coming up. So under 14 minutes left to go before halftime right now. Saints with a 3rd down coming up. We'll see if they can convert here. Drew Brees, shotgun formation. Kamara, the running back, towards his left. Brees takes the snap, drops back to pass. Plenty of time to pass. Passes right side, complete wide open. 1st down. Down the right sideline is Jared Cook. Welcome to New Orleans here. Coming from the Oakland Raiders, and now he's going to be a big boost towards this tight end position for the New Orleans Saints. Just blowing right past the defender in coverage. Got like 2 or 3 steps right on that defensive back. Tayshaun Gibson, the 8-year player, former Jacksonville Jaguar, blew right past him and got the reception down the right sideline for a 1st down. 1st and 10 coming up with 13 minutes left to go. Jared Cook was a Pro Bowl selection last season for the Raiders in 2018. 2 receptions now for 37 yards by Cook. Brees takes a snap back to passes left side. Complete once again, Michael Thomas. 1st down, gain of 13 on the play. Moving the football right now to the 29-yard line of Texans territory. The Saints, even when they're down by 7 right now, they can chunk plays down the field, left and right. That is for sure. They went to the right sideline with Cook. They go to the left sideline right there with Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is finding separation all across this field right now, having the one-on-one matchups and winning them every single time. 4 receptions, 58 yards by can't guard Mike. Brees takes the snap, hands it off to Kamara, up the middle to the 23-yard line for Kamara here. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5 in about. 125 receptions last season, a franchise record for the New Orleans Saints for this guy, Michael Thomas. And he's having a strong showing so far in this game. 321 receptions through the first 3 seasons in the NFL. That is an NFL record for a player through his first 3 seasons with that many receptions. 11:45 left to go in the second. Drew Brees in the shotgun formation right now. He hands it off to Kamara up the middle. Kamara tries to go through the pile, breaks a tackle, but gains around 2 on the play to the 20-yard line. As they're in the red zone right now for the Texans, brings up a 3rd down and 4 coming up here. So balling out the Houston 20, big 3rd down conversion coming up for the New Orleans Saints. Taysom Hill coming into the game for a second. And now he's checking back out towards the sideline. So Taysom Hill was in there for a second. 3rd and 3 coming up here for the Saints. Saints ran 52 out of 59 plays last season with Taysom Hill at quarterback, according to Next Gen Stats. Here's a big 3rd and 3 coming up. Ball at the 20 in the red zone right now for the Saints. Drew Brees, shotgun formation. Brees takes the snap, drops back. Plenty of time to pass it. Passes left side, complete wide open. 1st down, Kamara. Kamara takes it to the 14-yard line as he gets out of bounds. Alvin Kamara in this game. Another big game by Alvin as it's just too easy. Too easy right now with these catches by the Saints. Just left wide open, one-on-one coverages. In the backfield too, Kamara just completely wide open. Just walked to the sideline right there for a 1st down. 4 rushes for 15 yards, 3 receptions for 20 yards. Right now by number 41, Alvin Kamara for the Saints. They have the ball at the 15-yard line. Drew Brees in the I formation right now. Kamara to back in the backfield with the fullback in front of him. They hand it off to Kamara. Kamara gets upended right there around the 13. Gain of 2 on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 8. So Alvin Kamara on the left side counter. Only gained 2 on the play. As the fullback on that last play was Zach Line, the 7th-year player out of SMU. Under 10 minutes left to go before halftime. Houston with the first touchdown of this game with Deshaun Watson with a 21-yard quarterback keeper. But the Saints now back in the red zone, seeing if they can finally capitalize on their 2nd red zone drive. The first time it was an interception by Drew Brees at the 11, picked off by Whitney Merciless. Shotgun formation going 5 wide here for Brees. Ball at the 14, takes the snap, flushed out towards the right. Once again by Brees, should throw it away. Pump fakes, he does, he throws it away out of bounds. Smart decision right there by Drew Brees. Nice decision, because remember the last time he was flushed out towards his right, he got the ball intercepted. And that time, he made a smart decision. Flushed out towards his right, out of the pocket, just throws the ball out of bounds. So that was a great decision right there by Drew Brees. It brings up a 3rd and 9 coming on the field. Ball at the 14-yard line of Houston territory. And we have 9:32 left to go in the 2nd quarter. So Taysom Hill is in this game right now as quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And Drew Brees is now the quarterback. Taysom Hill, wide receiver. Brees passes right side, fade to the corner, incomplete, no flag in the play, brings up a 4th and 9. Trying to see if I see a flag. There was no flag. Nothing thrown right there, and it looks like they're going to have to settle for a field goal. So that's just devastating for the Saints, coming off probably with 3 points off the board here. Yep, so they're going to kick the field goal with Will Lutz. So 4th down coming up, Will Lutz with basically a chip shot here on the field. A 32-yard attempt coming up for Will Lutz. As this kicks up, this kick is good. 32-yard attempt, it's up, it's good here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So finally some scoring by the New Orleans Saints, but they definitely wanted more. Disappointment by that drive. 2nd drive in the red zone ends in only 3 points right now by the New Orleans Saints in this game. So right now we move into another commercial break here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. If you enjoy my channel here on YouTube, feel free to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well. So wow, this mixing up the coverages here by the Houston Texans defense has been the big difference so far in these red zone drives. The 2 red zone drives by the New Orleans Saints, the Saints haven't been able to figure out the Texans defensive coverage when they get inside the red zone, but the Texans have left Saints wide receivers and running backs in the backfield wide open to catch passes, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty inside the red zone, that's where it's totally different. The Texans mixing up their coverages, and they got an interception On the first red zone drive by Drew Brees, very uncharacteristic interception throw by Drew Brees at the 11-yard line. And then the other one was Drew Brees just had to throw it away, incomplete pass, and it brought on the field goal unit. So right now, the numbers look like this. Drew Brees, 12 for 17 passing, 123 yards in the air and an interception pass. Deshaun Watson, 4 for 8 passing, 81 yards in the air, and he had a 21-yard touchdown run with a left side boot into the end zone for the TD run by Deshaun Watson. So that's what's gone on so far in this game. Houston with a quick 7-zip lead. And then the Saints just tacked on the field goal, so it's 7-3 right now is the score. So right now we are on commercial break as we'll get ready to go back momentarily here to the Sports Dish here on Sportscaster. So yeah, we're just ready to get back to action here, hopefully soon with this game, but it just only resulted in 3 points, unfortunately, for the New Orleans Saints. I wanted to see something more out of that drive by Drew Brees, but kudos to the defense by the Houston Texans, what they were able to accomplish on that last defensive stand right there for the Houston Texans defense. Great job defensive scheming for the Houston Texans on that last drive. So that was a positive right there for the Texans. The Saints were able to get chunk yards out of it, but only 3 points to show for. Looking at the total team yards so far, Saints with 144 yards total, the Texans with 124 yards. So the Saints outgaining the Texans by 20 yards, but 7-3 right now the score, belonging to the Texans. So 9:22 left to go before halftime, and the Texans will be back to receive this kick as Lutz will kick this ball off. Houston will let this one go to the back of the end zone, and the Texans will bring it out starting at their own 25-yard line here with Deshaun Watson, who got the 21-yard touchdown run on the last drive for the Texans. Yeah, so Deshaun Watson actually went to the medical tent when he got that touchdown run across the pylon. But he's back on the field now. That's why they had the quarterback on the sideline, the backup quarterback, A.J. McCarron, warm up for a little bit on the sideline because Deshaun Watson did get banged up, a little bit banged up on the touchdown run, but he is back right now. 9:22 left to go in the second. Watson takes the snap, passes right side. That pass complete. Gain of 2 on the play to DeAndre Hopkins. He got tackled hard right there from behind by Marshawn Lattimore. This is a matchup to watch throughout the entire game tonight. Marshawn Lattimore going up against DeAndre Hopkins. It is indeed going to be quite the fest between both of these players in this game tonight. 2nd and 7 coming up, under 9 minutes remaining before halftime. Watson takes the snap. He'll hand it off left side to the running back. He gets swallowed up for no gain on the play. That's Duke Johnson for 0 yards. Brings up a quick 3rd down here for the Texans. So 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Houston Texans right now on their side of the field. So ball at the 29-yard line in Houston territory right now for the Texans. 8.5 left to go before halftime right now for Houston. Texans going 4 wide as Deshaun Watson's in the shotgun. Johnson, the running back, towards the right of him, going in motion. Kenny Stills is into the game as the slot receiver. Watson takes the snap, back to pass. Passes underneath. 1st down catch right there by DeAndre Hopkins. So somebody asked me on YouTube earlier, is Kenny Stills in the game? Yes, he is. So I just saw Kenny Stills going in motion on the last play. He is indeed into the game. His snap count's probably low because I haven't seen him that often today. But Watson completes the 1st down pass. Nice poise right there in the pocket by Deshaun Watson to complete the pass for the 1st down. 1st and 10 here, under 7:45 left to go in the second quarter. Watson, play action fake, rolled out to his right, passes down the right sideline. That is deep, and it cannot be hauled in. It was to a wide open DeAndre Hopkins. And Deshaun Watson threw it just a tad short to DeAndre. DeAndre fell down on the ground, and both of them cannot believe it, that they could not hook up together with that. DeAndre was wide open in the corner. The strong safety, Von Bell, mistimed his jump, and DeAndre Hopkins Tried to haul in the ball at his knees and couldn't haul it on. An uncharacteristic drop right there by DeAndre. Deshaun threw it just a tad short. DeAndre had to fall to the ground and try to snag it in, and he couldn't. That is uncharacteristic right there. 7:36 left to go in the second. Quick pass to the running back, Duke Johnson. Past the 45 and takes it to the 48-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play brings up a 3rd and 2. So Duke Johnson right there in a screened pass as he's set up as a wide receiver. Approaching the 7-minute mark here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Houston Texans. 1 more yard there at midfield. Houston in the shotgun formation once again with Deshaun Watson going in motion right now. They take it on the end around. 1st down carry as they get that ball around the end around. Kenny Stills with his first play of the game. He took it on the wide receiver direct snap right there on the wide receiver option, coming in motion towards his left side and got around the edge for a 1st down carry. So 1st and 10 here as we approach the 6.5-minute mark in the second quarter in the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football here on YouTube. Deshaun Watson in the shotgun right now. Duke Johnson, the running back, towards his right. He'll go with the play action. Watson passes, screen pass over left side, complete to Carlos Hyde. Hyde tries to break a tackle, and he gains around 1 on the play towards the left sideline. And it brings up a 2nd and 9 coming up for the Texans. 6 minutes left to go before halftime. Deshaun Watson's numbers look like this. 9 for 14 passing, 109 yards in the air, and a rush touchdown from 21 yards out. 5 for 6 passing tonight. 28 yards by Deshaun. Deshaun Watson, I formation, under center. Hands this one off, left side to the running back. That's Hyde. Hyde seeing some green past the 30 to the 25-yard line. They acquired him last Saturday, and Carlos Hyde breaks a good one. And now they're going to set up this team with great field position, getting them into field goal range on the run by Carlos Hyde. Going all the way to the 25 in the last play there. 5:05 left to go in the second quarter. Watson hands this one off up the middle high. No gain on the play. Back to the 25-yard line. So 2nd down and 10 coming up here for the Texans. Carlos Hyde coming through right now with a big rush. Big rush 2 plays ago. Coming in from the Jacksonville Jaguars, the 6-year player. Trying to make a splash here with a new team. And trying to rediscover himself on the roster here for the Texans. 2nd and 9 coming up. 4.5 left to go in the second quarter. Shotgun formation for Deshaun. Takes the pass. Draws back. Flushed out towards his left. Avoids the tackler. Now he's going to step up and run. He does scamper before he gets sacked. And as it makes it out of a gain of 1 on the play by Deshaun. So Deshaun was almost sacked right there. Behind the line of scrimmage. Avoided the tackler. And then went up to run. And gained around 1 on the play. So it's going to bring up about a 3rd and 8 coming up. Third and 8 coming up. Incredible awareness by Deshaun Watson to fight through tacklers and avoid sacks in this game. His offensive line is basically a train wreck, but if anybody knows how to avoid tacklers, it's this guy, Deshaun Watson. Watson takes the snap, back to pass, deep pass to the end zone, right corner end zone, incomplete. It was double covered, intended for Will Fuller right there in the right corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Deshaun Watson got hit down on the play, but Watson able to get helped out by his teammates up to his feet. He's okay. We do have a flag down, though. We'll check the flag here with 3:38 left to go before halftime. And that is a holding call by the defense by the Saints. Automatic 1st down for the Texans because of P.J. Williams on the holding call by the Saints. Penalties will kill you, just like the Cleveland Browns yesterday. They had 18 penalties for 102 penalty yards in that game. Penalties will kill you throughout the entire game. Now we have coming up an automatic 1st and 10 by the Texans. Texans with the ball. They hand it off. HB draw up the middle to the 15-yard line. Right there on the carry is Duke Johnson. Brings up a 2nd and 5 with 3.5 left to go before half. So putting together quite the drive here in this game right now on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So let's see what we got coming up here in the next play. As 2nd and 6 coming up. Handoff. Cuts towards the left right now for Hyde. Hyde past the 15 to the 13-yard line and gets dragged down right there. That was Marcus Williams with a tackle from behind. We do have another flag, though, on this play. We're going to check the flag right now. 2:55 left to go before half. Refs trying to sort this one off. They were pointing towards Houston's direction. And yes, it is a Houston penalty. So holding by Jordan Atkins, the tight end for the Houston Texans on the last play there. Let's check the hold call. He was a pull-in blocker in this play, and yeah, he just completely blocked the defensive player for the Saints to avoid him from getting to tackle Carlos Hyde. So backs up the Texans just a little bit. 2nd and 16. Ball at the 25 once again. Puts him out of the red zone. Watson in the ace formation with a running back right behind him. 2:40 left to go before halftime. Watson takes the snap, drops back to pass, and now he's going to scamper up, and he goes back, and as he dropped to the line of scrimmage, he is sacked. I think that was a busted play right there. Yeah, Deshaun Watson didn't plan to do that play. Duke Johnson Jr. didn't know the play in the playbook. He was supposed to get the handoff. Deshaun Watson went to snap the ball to him, realized that there was nobody there, and he just had to run it up himself and just got crushed right at the line of scrimmage on the keeper. So it's these little things that's killing the Texans right now. The communication, not knowing the playbook. Something from the running backs right now that's been a problem. Not knowing the playbook. You have two completely new running backs to the squad here. Duke Johnson Jr. played for the Browns 2015 to 2018. And then you have over Carlos Hyde, who just signed last Saturday from the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you have two completely new running backs here playing for the Houston Texans in this game to fill in for Lamar Miller throughout this entire season. So 3rd and 16 right now with 2.5 remaining in the second quarter. Watson takes the snap, passes the left side, complete past the 20 to the 15-yard line and fights to the 13 as he gets tackled. That reception's by Jordan Atkins. So he gets a pretty good chunk of yardage out. The ball did come on the ground. Let's see here. We do have a flag, though. Ball did come on the ground, but I believe his knee was down. So we'll see what the refs say. His knee looked like it was down well before. And that'll help anyway. So that play was a free play. Offsides by the defense by the Saints. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down. So offsides by Cameron Jordan for the New Orleans Saints. On that play brings up a 3rd and 11 here for the Texans. So the Texans didn't get the 1st down anyway on the play. But there was an offsides call anyway. So repeat the 3rd down, and they're 5 yards closer right now. Thanks so much all for watching me here at the Sports Dish here on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. 3rd and 11 coming up for the Houston Texans. Shotgun formation right now for Deshaun Watson. With 2:10 left to go before halftime. He's going to have to take the snap. He does. Watson takes the snap, passes left side. That one's complete. Past the 15 to the 10. Past the 1st down marker. Out of bounds at the 8-yard line. On the reception is the pass catching back, Duke Johnson Jr. And we'll take it to the 2-minute warning here of this second quarter on Final Yard Football on YouTube and the Sports Dish here on Sportscaster. So the Texans coming down the field once again. Right now we are on a commercial break, as we'll get ready to go back to this game right after this commercial break right now. But you got to be impressed with the performance that Deshaun Watson has put on the field so far for the Texans in this matchup. His numbers look like this so far. 10 for 15 passing, 122 yards in the air. Hasn't had a touchdown pass so far, but he did have a 21-yard touchdown run by Deshaun in this game. As far as the Saints passing, Drew Brees, 12 for 17 in the air, 123 yards. And unfortunately for Drew Brees, the 12-time Pro Bowler. He did throw an interception inside the red zone at the 11-yard line. That was a killer. It was picked off by Whitney Merciless at the 5-yard line. The next play for the Texans was a deep down dart down the middle of the field that Will Fuller received a 54-yard pass in the middle of the field over a Saints defender for a huge first down. It ultimately set up the touchdown run inside at the 21-yard line for Deshaun Watson. So that's how this game has gone so far. New Orleans Saints, 2 trips to the red zone with only 3 points to show for it so far. So only a field goal to show for it. At least it's not a field goal to be kicked at the 1-yard line when you're down by 20 points. That's something else there. That's just called bad coaching. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Kicking a field goal at the 1-yard line, that's another team I'm talking about. We all saw that Sunday night, by the way. Classic. But yeah, that's what's going on right now in the sports dish here on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So what I do here on the channel is I call play-by-play of football action. Right now we are just on a commercial break, getting ready to go back to the game here momentarily. So yeah, right now we're just on commercial break. Should be getting ready to go back here to the stream in a little bit to see how, if Deshaun Watson can cash in this one to the end zone. This is huge if you guys do have fantasy football right now with Deshaun Watson in this game. If you guys did play him, this is huge for any Deshaun Watson fantasy owners because he is in the red zone right now. So when we get back to action, that ball will be placed around the 12-yard line for the Houston Texans. So Broncos Raiders right after this one, but this is my only stream tonight. First and goal, 2 minutes left to go. Texans with the ball in the shotgun formation. Watson will get that snap, and there's a flag before the play even started. Let's see the flag. Check the flag. False start by the Texans, so pushing them back 5. So they're supposed to start Larry Tunsil. So Larry Tunsil, the guilty party there, who they just acquired last Saturday from the Dolphins. So it pushes back the Texans 5 yards. First and goal now for the Texans. With the ball at the 12. So 12-yard line right now for the Texans with a first and goal at this moment. Can they cash it into the red zone? They get called with a false start. Now they have 2 minutes left to go before halftime. Deshaun Watson, shotgun formation right now as he'll hand it off. Draw play up the middle. Bounces off a tackler's Hyde. Hyde past the 10, up the middle. Cuts and to the 7-yard line. So gets those 5 yards back. And it brings up a second and goal coming up from the 7 for the Texans. So timeout call on the field right now. 1:55 left to go before halftime. We'll see if the Houston Texans can put this to be a 2-score game if they do punch this one into the end zone. So second and goal coming up for the Texans right now. Huge play call on the field, by the way, at this stage of the game. So here we are getting ready for the second and goal coming up here for the Houston Texans right now. Inside the red zone at the 7-yard line, the Saints territory. As Watson snaps it, bootleg towards his right, passes right side, complete to Johnson. Johnson at the 3 gets chopped down. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. We do have a third and goal coming up here for the Houston Texans. So third and goal coming up with 1:51 left to go on the clock before halftime. This is a huge play coming up here for Houston. Bill O'Brien has been magnificent with his play calls so far. Can he continue it in this game? The 21-yard bootleg by Deshaun Watson led to the touchdown across the pylon. Can he call something else? Shotgun formation right now by Watson with a running back towards his left. Third and goal. Ball at the 2-yard line right now for Houston. 1:51 left to go. Watson takes the snap. Backs the pass. Across the middle of the end zone. Touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins with a touchdown reception. It is 13-3 Houston. DeAndre DeAndre Hopkins. Hopefully you played him in fantasy, because if not, I don't know why you wouldn't play him. Gets the touchdown grab. That was a 16-play scoring drive. What was just said is that they've only had one 16-play scoring drive in the entirety of last season, and they get the touchdown pass right there to Deshaun Watson over the middle of the field to DeAndre Hopkins, working on Marshawn Lattimore, and that time he beat him for the touchdown grab by DeAndre. DeAndre Hopkins last season was a number 2 wide receiver in receiving yards in the NFL. Only Julio Jones had a higher receiving yard total than him. So 16 plays, 75 yards off the board. It took 7 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock. The extra point coming up for Cammy Fairbairn. As Fairbairn gets the snap, and this extra point is up, and it is through. Making it 14-3. Houston on the road right now against the Saints. DeAndre Hopkins with a touchdown reception. Deshaun Watson hooking up with him for the second touchdown of the game right now by Deshaun, the national champion for college football. And right now, the Texans are cruising 14-3 over the Saints in the Dome. So right now, guys, we are on commercial break. We are on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. Thanks so much, all, for joining me on the stream. At halftime, we'll look towards some of the stats of what happened at halftime as well. We're less than 2 minutes away till half. And then we'll go through some of the other stuff that went down in the NFL throughout this weekend. So hopefully you can watch me here. If not, feel free to join back later on today. But yeah, this is my only stream tonight. Just doing this one game because the other game's really late. Broncos versus Raiders is the other game tonight. Interested to see how the Raiders look, though. Without Antonio Brown, with limited weapons on their offense. Josh Jacobs, though, the rookie, should be out there, though. So that's good for the Raiders. But a very young team, the Oakland Raiders are. I'm interested just to see how they're going to do tonight in progress. So right now, we are on commercial break. We'll get back to action here hopefully soon in this game between both of these teams, calling play-by-play, as we are on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So, wow, Deshaun Watson just a hookup with DeAndre Hopkins right there. How many times did we see that last season? Man, DeAndre's just such a good wide receiver for sure, DeAndre is. They hook up all the time, and that was the big grab that they got by DeAndre Hopkins right into the end zone for the touchdown catch. So it's been a difference so far, 14-3. Just the red zone offense has been completely different for both of these teams. The Saints haven't been able to capitalize inside the red zone. The red zone offense for the Texans, well, they got there in this last possession, and they scored. So two different red zone offenses, and it's been the difference so far in this game right now with a differential between the red zone offense between both of these teams. So that's been the main difference in this game so far between both of these squads. The red zone offenses here. So looking at the first downs, the Texans chunking together a whole lot of yards in this first half. 11 first downs compared to Saints' 6. So it's just been able to be efficient on the offensive end, which really has helped the Houston Texans so far in this game. The offensive efficiency throughout this game with Deshaun Watson, which is great to see for the Texans. So this ball gets kicked off here to the Saints. It goes to the back of the end zone, and it looks like the Saints will take this ball over at their own 25 to start out. So got a big update here. Deshaun Watson back out in the medical tent being evaluated once again. So it looks like Deshaun Watson's back has been bothering him. Yeah, he's been trying to stretch out his back. So that's unfortunate for Deshaun Watson. Looks like he's having some back troubles right now in the medical tent, dealing with some type of back pain at this moment. So that's unfortunate. But if you guys are Houston Texans fans, no worries. You have a pretty good backup quarterback, though. A.J. McCarron is the backup quarterback. He played for the Raiders last season, but he also played for the Cincinnati Bengals from 2015 to 2017. Led Alabama to a national title. He only had 8 total passing yards last season for the Raiders, but A.J. McCarron is actually a pretty reliable backup. He filled in 2015 for the injured Andy Dalton, and that team he took to the playoffs in the wild card round, and they should have won that game against Pittsburgh, but we all know how that went. Jeremy Hill fumbled the ball with a minute and a half remaining, and then Pittsburgh marched down the field with a bunch of unsportsmanlike conduct flags by the Cincinnati Bengals secondary. Pac-Man Jones got it into it with contact with an official. Then the late hit on Antonio Brown set up the game-winning field goal for Pittsburgh, and they beat the Bengals. So 1:47 left to go before halftime right now. 1st and 10 coming up for the Saints. We did have a flag on the play, and I think it pushed up the Saints a little bit more with that yardage here. Nope, they're going to say 25-yard line. So the Saints start at their own 25. Pass over the middle. Complete. Drew Brees hooking up right there to his wide receiver, number 10 on the play, Traquan Smith, who caught the 62-yard catch for Drew Brees last year on Monday Night Football against the Washington Redskins to complete Drew Brees' all-time passing yards leading record. Brees. Quick pass, left side, incomplete to Michael Thomas. 2nd and 10 coming up. So they went with a hurry-up offense just a moment ago for the New Orleans Saints on that last play. So we'll see here if Drew Brees can work this entire field, what it turns out to be. 1:23 left to go before halftime right now for Drew Brees in the offense. He's 13 for 18 tonight, 135 yards in the air, no touchdown passes, and an interception right now for Brees with 1:23 left to go in the second quarter. Brees, shotgun formation, Kamara, the back towards his left. Brees takes the snap, flips it over to Kamara. Kamara gets tackled for a big-time loss on a play, not even close to where they even started right there to that pass by Alvin Kamara. It is a gigantic loss on the play, like a loss of 8 for Kamara. On the screenplay, that screen just got absolutely blown up by the Texans. 3rd and 17 coming up on the field here. We are under a minute left to go. Ball at the 30-yard line. At their own 30-yard line here from New Orleans. Brees in the shotgun right now. Kamara to back towards the left. Brees back to pass. Plenty of time. Passes. Deep pass over the mid towards the left sideline. And it's caught. Michael Thomas, have yourself a snag right there at the first down marker. Appears to be an inch short. It'll be a 4th down coming up for the Saints. Huge call right now. Half a yard short in the catch by Thomas. Ball at the 46, QB sneak, they got it. Saints caught the Texans defense off guard. They went for the quarterback sneak up the middle. They got the first down. 24 seconds remaining. Oh, refs are going to say previous play is under review. So the refs have stopped the game because the previous play is under review on the QB sneak. Oh, no, right before that. So they're talking about the pass completion. So it's before that. The Michael Thomas catch towards the left sideline. They're looking at that play. Before the Saints went in for the QB sneak, they're trying to see on the review booth if that was indeed a completed pass or not. So this is going to be a really interesting play call coming up here on the field. So we're just awaiting this play call right now on the field if this was a catch or not by Michael Thomas, jumping up in the air. Yep, both of his feet were in bounds. We can't see the bobble from that angle, though, that I'm looking at it at the moment here as they're reviewing if Michael Thomas caught the ball or not on the last play. So that's what they're looking at. If the catch by Michael Thomas was a completed catch indeed, or if it was incomplete. Rolling on the field, pass complete as he was targeted at the left side of the sideline. Looked indeed that he caught the pass for sure. The only problem is where will the spot of the ball be? A yard short of the first down marker like they put it to be a 4th and 1? Or will it be a first down here? This is a huge call on the field right now with 26 seconds left to go before halftime. So the refs right now going to the booth to review this call in this game. Remember, the Saints are down 14-3 in action right now. So this is a massive call for the stakes right now on the field at this moment regarding the Michael Thomas catch. I think possibly this could be a first down, too, because it looked like Michael Thomas's ball got across with the body. We'll check the review. Okay, so they're going to reverse it here. Well, they're going to say play calls as stands. It'll be a first down. But they have put it a yard short anyway. So it'll be an automatic first down on the catch. So Michael Thomas got enough at the pylon to be a first down for the Saints. And this drive still continues right now for New Orleans with 26 seconds left. Thank you to the marker cam if you're a Saints fan. 1st and 10 coming up for the Saints right now. Refs are maybe trying to see how much time to put back onto the clock here. Yeah, so I think they're discussing the clock right now. We have 26 seconds left to go before halftime. Will the refs put up some more time back on the clock? That's what they're trying to talk about here. So they're trying to talk about the clock right now. Oh, since they reversed the call, it's a 10-second runoff. New Orleans fans through the years, man, they just keep on getting crushed by everything. So it's a 10-second runoff right now. So instead of 26 seconds on the clock, it's 16 seconds. Drew Brees going over to the official here at the moment. He's giving them an earful. He cannot believe it right now. He's talking about what that clarification is with the officials. And there's boos going everywhere right now in the Superdome. Oh, man, they cannot believe it. The reaction right now in the Dome, boos all over by these fans because of the 10-second runoff on the clock. Sean Payton is living on the sidelines. 16 seconds left to go before halftime right now. Because of the catch by Michael Thomas, it was under 2 minutes left to go before halftime. It was a reviewed play, so the refs took off 10 seconds off the clock. Can you believe it here? 1st and 10, though, coming up for the Saints. The ball placed at the 47-yard line of New Orleans territory. 53 yards to the end zone. Brees takes the snap, drops back to pass. Passes down the field. This ball is tipped. It is dropped at the 40-yard line. Incomplete. That still made its way to Michael Thomas, but he dropped it on the tip ball with 9 seconds left to go before halftime. Nothing can go the Saints' way. I think Sean Payton right now is furious over that call. Nothing can ever go the Saints' way, man. They always get left out. Always get left out, man. It's unfortunate. 14-3. Ball at the 47-yard line of Saints territory. Brees in the shotgun with 9 seconds left to go before halftime. He takes the snap, back to pass, passes down the field, left side, complete at the 38-yard line. And they take a timeout with 4 seconds left. So Drew Brees has a chance for a Hail Mary to the end zone right at the halftime marker if he does so. We'll see what they do here. If they go on with the kicking unit, they have a very reliable kicker in Will Lutz. And it looks like they're going to go on with a kicking unit here. So 57-yard field goal coming up for the kicker, Will Lutz. So they'll stick with the kicker here. The Saints are going to go with Will Lutz. Career long is a 57-yard kick back in 2016 against the Falcons. He has a big one here, but he is a very reliable kicker. Last season, 28 for 30 on field goals, 93% kick conversion. Will Lutz will have to kick a 56-yard attempt. His career high is 57. From the left hash here, 56 yards. This ball snapped. Lutz with a kick. As this one drifting towards the left upright, and it is just wide. No good by Will Lutz as we have reached halftime. That was close. He had a distance. He had a distance, too, in the Dome. He just barely pulled it left of the uprights, and he missed it. So right now, we are at halftime, 14-3. The score and the boos in the Superdome continue with a 10-second runoff. So right now, we are going to halftime here on Final Yard Football on YouTube and the Sports Dish right on Sportscaster. So if you guys enjoy what I do here on both of the streams, feel free to become a fan of mine here on Sportscaster, by the way, if you enjoy what I do. Also, if you're on YouTube, feel free to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button, as well as I call play-by-play of football action here on the channel. But, wow, what an end of the half. That's just unfortunate for Saints fans, though. So unfortunate with a 10-second runoff. Let's see here. I think the Saints will receive the second half kickoff, too, when we get back to action. I believe this, yeah, I think the Saints will get the ball back when we do get back to this game as well. So, looking at some of the numbers here in this first half, we'll look towards what happened. So these are the numbers right now. Deshaun Watson responsible for both of the touchdowns in this game. 12 for 17 passing for Deshaun, 129 yards in the air. The touchdown pass, 2-yard TD pass to DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, the leading wide receiver, 5 receptions, 36 yards in the TD grab. The big play early on in this game, though, was Deshaun Watson and his hookup to Will Fuller with a 54-yard pass down the middle of the field. That was right after Drew Brees threw an interception in the red zone. It ultimately set up a couple plays later a 21-yard boot towards the left for Deshaun Watson and took it in for the touchdown run. As far as the other statistics we've looked at in this game, passing the ball, Drew Brees, only 7 incompletions, 16 for 23, passing 160 yards in the air, but nothing worse than the interception inside the red zone at the 11-yard line. Uncharacteristic of Drew Brees to throw a pick, and he did inside the red zone early on in the first quarter. So unfortunately for Drew Brees throwing the interception, and right now it's hurting. If you guys are Saints fans out there, it is hurting. 141 to 130. 14 to 3 is the score right now, as we are on 2 streams at the moment here. So looking at some of the other statistics, we'll look towards the team stats here. Texans right now, outgaining the Saints 204 yards to 181 at this stage of the game. As we look towards the total plays, Texans have ran three more plays total than the Saints right now. 32 total plays compared to 29 plays total. First downs, Texans has more first downs. 11 first downs to 9 first downs. And then we'll take a look at the penalties actually here. 3 penalties for 20 yards by the Saints, 4 penalties for 30 yards by the Texans. And what else? We got the rushing yards has been the difference maker in this game. It's been the rushing yards here. The Texans, with usually a dreadful offensive line in the past, have been able to run the ball against a sneaky good run defense a year ago for the Saints. The Saints' rush defense has allowed 85 yards so far to Houston running backs. Carlos Hyde, 6 carries, 46 yards. Duke Johnson Jr., 4 carries, 17 yards. Deshaun Watson, the quarterback keeper, touchdown for 21 yards, and he has 3 carries for 22 yards now by Deshaun. On the other side, Alvin Kamara, 5 carries, 16 yards. Latavius Murray, 1 carry, 5 yards. So usually the spectacular offensive line for the New Orleans Saints has struggled so far in this game when it comes to the run defense right now. Yeah, man, Triet. The refs, big time, just messing up Drew Brees so far in this game. It's so unfortunate. It always seems like the Saints have, always get left out, the short end of the stick. It's so unfortunate for the Saints. They're such a talented team, too, but this is unfortunate for the Saints. Home game at the Dome in the season opener. They're down right now, 14-3. Unfortunately, that was a big-time call on the field with a 10-second runoff right before halftime. Put the clock to 28 seconds and then, or 26 seconds, down to 16 seconds, and that is just so unfortunate. It seems like they just get destroyed over those calls every time or so. It's unfortunate. Heartbreak every single year with the Saints, even when they take it far into the playoffs, unfortunately, or so. But yeah, Drew Brees is a legend, MVP player. He'll go down into the Hall of Fame after he retires. But it's incredible what he's done in his 19-year career. Almost 4,000 passing yards last season. Just was a little bit shy of that. 32 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions. But he's never won a single MVP in his entire 19-year career for Drew Brees. And he puts up ridiculous numbers every single season with passing yards after passing yards after passing yards. The reason why is because the Saints have usually had a weaker defense the past decade or so, but the defense has been stronger though the past 2 years. Took them to the playoffs the past 2 years. I remember back in 2017 they started out 0-2 overall, and then they started winning games after that. They went on a huge winning streak, I think 9 wins in a row, and they got to the playoffs, and they actually had a defense, and last season they were bound to win it all, except the no call, unfortunately. Late in the game against the Rams, changed the entire complexion of it, and the Rams won the game, and unfortunately, just a killer for the Saints. So unfortunate, but that's just that 10-second runoff right there, killer for the Saints. I think we saw that a few years ago with Golden Tate and the Lions. They were playing against the Falcons, I believe, and they had a 10-second runoff against them, and they lost the game. on basically that same exact call. As Golden Tate received the ball with like under 10 seconds remaining, and they rolled him down at the 1-yard line with a challenge, and there was a 10-second runoff off the clock, and it was a matter of inches that decided the game. So that's what decides these football games. A matter of inches and 60 minutes that you have to play in its entirety in an actual NFL game. So there's a lot of stuff there that you have to do with a factor that goes down. And unfortunately for the Redskins, they did not play 60 minutes of football last week in their or yesterday in their match against Philadelphia. But right now we are at halftime, 14-3 to score at this moment. Second half coming up here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube when we do get back to action on the stream right now on Monday Night Football from the Dome, as they do have like a halftime show going on or so on ESPN. But this is my only stream tonight. No Redskins Broncos later tonight. That game is so late here. I'm from the East Coast, by the way, up in New England, so that game is just very late past my time for sure. So I'm only doing this game tonight, guys. So what else we have with statistics we're looking at? So the second half, I definitely would like to see Alvin Kamara touch the ball more times. The Saints rushing attack, they've only ran the ball 6 times. They passed the ball 23 times in this game. So it's been the play calling a little bit. I like to see the Saints mix and match a little bit more in the second half here. Alvin Kamara only having 6 rushing attempts. I'm going to look towards Kamara's stats right now, because if you guys have him in fantasy, he is one of my favorite players in the NFL. He only has 4 receptions for a total of only 13 yards, by the way. 4 points if you guys do play in the PPR league for his receptions, plus another point for his 13 yards receiving. So he only has 5 points right now, plus another point, so it's 6 points since he's carried the ball 16 yards if you guys do PPR leagues here for fantasy. So Alvin Kamara only 6 points at the half. I expect so much more than him in the second half here. Hopefully he can touch the ball a whole lot more. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL to watch, and this backfield is completely his for this upcoming season for the Saints, since Mark Ingram is now playing for the Baltimore Ravens, and Latavius Murray is now officially a member of the Saints. So Latavius Murray hasn't got a whole lot of carries either in this game. Actually, he's only just got 1 carry for 5 yards. He has 2 catches out of the backfield for 4 yards. Michael Thomas, the leading wide receiver right now for New Orleans, 6 receptions, 90 yards in the air. Jared Cook has been targeted 3 times, 2 receptions for 37 yards right now by Jared Cook. So hopefully we'll see a lot more throughout action here, but Michael Thomas is where Drew Brees has been going to, seeing that one-on-one matchup and been able to target Michael Thomas when he's open in the one-on-one matchup, when Michael Thomas does get separation, and usually they pick up the first downer. So that was just unfortunate, though, that Michael Thomas received the ball at the sticks at the first down marker. It was a challenge on the play to determine the spot of the ball with 26 seconds left, and there was a 10-second runoff on that same exact play. So, yeah, the refs are definitely messing up with Drew Brees right now at the helm as quarterback. Yeah, refs are just totally high right now, Tria, that's for sure. I mean, it's so unfortunate going on right now. I had the Saints in this game here against the Texans. This is just unfortunate for New Orleans, what's going on in the Dome. Just the refs just getting booed off the field at the end of halftime because of that. Yeah, little things like that, though, it can make the difference in a game. We saw that yesterday. Kari Vedvik, the kicker for the New York Jets, missed an extra point, missed a field goal. He left 4 points off the board, and it was just 1 point. That was the difference in that game. Same as Adam Vinatieri, missed 3 field goals. The Colts came from behind. They tied the game up at 24 against the Chargers, but Vinatieri missed 3 kicks in the game, and they lost the game in overtime. So unfortunate for some of the teams. The Bengals, too, they blew themselves out yesterday. The Bengals, they did not convert on 3 times in the red zone. They fumbled the ball 1 time. Andy Dalton with butterfingers trying to pass the ball. The ball slipped from his hands, and it was fumbled, and the Seahawks recovered. So, yeah, we've seen teams crack under pressure in some of these games with high stakes so far, and then there's teams that's just been non-competitive. Hey, what's good, Vaughn? Thanks so much, man, for joining me back here Oh, man, the Dolphins game yesterday, Vaughn. Yikes, it looks like a historic low right now for the Dolphins, but if I have some positive about the Dolphins, it has to be this. A year ago, the Buffalo Bills were in the same spot. The Buffalo Bills last season lost to the Baltimore Ravens 47-3. Flash forward over to this year, to yesterday, where it was even worse, 59-10 the final. So, maybe it has to do something with John Harbaugh and the Ravens just preparing them for this Week 1 matchup like every single year, and the Ravens coming out on fire, but Lamar was just torching up the Dolphins throughout that entirety of the game. Man, Lamar was almost perfect passing the ball. 5 touchdown passes. People are saying right now Lamar for MVP. Right now it's an over-exaggeration at this point, but if he continues like this, he could be on that road just like Pat Mahomes was last season. But I think next week will be a different week in the NFL. I feel like Tennessee spent like this whole their whole month game planning for Cleveland. Just what the Jaguars did. They spent basically like the whole year game planning for the Patriots last year to play them in week 2 and beat the Patriots and crush them. And then after that, they were just non-competitive throughout the rest of the season last year. But I'm not sold on Tennessee yet with those 43 points until I see another game with them. I think they have the Colts coming up, and Jacoby Brissett was pretty accurate in that game against the Chargers yesterday, too. So, yeah, looks like we're going to start the second half right now on Final Yard Football on YouTube, also on Sportscaster on the Sports Dish. Bengals draft Grand Del Pitt. I'm surprised yesterday. I'm shocked about John Ross, the wide receiver from the Bengals, having a 2-touchdown game, receiving over like 150 yards in the air, having like a breakout game yesterday. He's like a number 9 draft pick from like 2017, and he broke out in yesterday's game. The first 2 years, we all thought that he was going to be like the biggest bust in the NFL. Since, like, some of those other players, Jamarcus Russell, like, all those first-round drafts, Ryan Leaf, all the busts that they got, or, like, the quarterbacks that they converted over to wide receiver. All right, here we are getting ready to start the third quarter. Saints will get this ball as they'll receive it from their own 1-yard line. Past the 10, left side, they try to make a juke move. They get tackled at the 16, so great defensive play right there on the special teams to swallow up. I believe it was Taysom Hill, who is back there to return for the Saints. Okay, so the Saints will get this ball at their own 16-yard line to start. Yeah, I'm starting to think Jameis Winston's a bust right now, Vaughn. This is a make-it-or-break-it season for him, and it's not starting off well. 2 pick-sixes yesterday against the 49ers. It looks bad for Jameis Winston at this point. All right, 1st and 10 coming up for the Saints at their own 21. Breeze takes the snap, passes right side. That one's complete, first down. Ted Ginn wide open on the comeback route at the right side of the sideline. So the Saints have been able to chunk the ball away. They've been able to get some good plays here. Gains of 10 or 11 to pick up the first down here or there on the plays. They've been able to get downfield. They just haven't been able to finish off drives and punch it into the end zone. 14.5 left to go in the third quarter right now. The Saints with the ball. Moving it along there at the 28-yard line. Drew Brees under center, ace formation. He'll hand it off up the middle here to Latavius Murray. Bounces off a tackler, gains around 1 on the play, brings up a 2nd and 9 from the 29. So Latavius Murray coming over from the Vikings now. He was a power back last season from Minnesota, filling in for Dalvin Cook when he was injured. Dalvin Cook past 2 seasons has been injured. The ACL injury, I believe that was week 4 for Dalvin Cook in 2017. And then last year, he had the on and off hamstring injury. I believe he only played 10 games. Alvin Kamara back in the backfield. I like to see more touches by Kamara. Breeze takes the snap, back to pass, passes over the middle, complete to Kamara. First down pass of 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, left sideline, 35, out of bounds at the 33-yard line by Alvin Kamara. And there we go, a big hookup. If you guys have Kamara in your fantasy team, that's what you've been waiting for right there. Over the middle of the field, uncovered from the backfield. He went on the route and picked up the first down. Dolphins with a tank for Tua. I'd see the Dolphins probably picking up Tua. I think Dolphins are going to be the #1 overall draft pick for 2020. After that game, too, there were a bunch of Dolphins players who actually, like, asked to be traded from the team. Like, they already gave up on the team, and they got the Patriots next week, which is not going to help out, especially if Antonio Brown comes on the roster. Breeze, play action, rolls out to his right, pass. Drop by Taysom Hill. He had it in his hands for a second and dropped it at the 30-yard line. So Taysom Hill had that in his hands and just dropped it. But yeah, that's what I really like to see there from Alvin Kamara's biggest reception of the game so far. That was a 41-yard catch. Not the last play, but the play before that. Oh yeah, doing great on Sportscaster right now. Up to #8. It's fantastic. That handoff up the middle, and more Latavius Murray getting around some defenders, and takes it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown. Latavius Murray finding the hole for the Saints, and they get on the board with a TD. It's 14-9. 30-yard touchdown run. He just went up the middle on the HB draw, juked the left side right around the group of defenders who didn't even touch him, and he was just off to the races. Let's see here on the replay. Drew Brees in the shotgun. He took the snap. He handed it off up the middle. Latavius Murray just cut right around the defender right there. He missed him completely and gets the left corner of the end zone for the touchdown. 12:51 left to go in the third. Lutz to tack on the extra point right now to see if this can be a 4-point game. This extra point's up, and this one is straight through the upright. So 14-10, just like that. The Saints can prove it to you going up the field in a matter of moments, and they just started out in the third quarter right on the fly right there. Latavius Murray, welcome to New Orleans right now, and this is only a 4-point game. So Houston will get this ball back here when we do get back to action on the channel right now on the Sportscaster stream and also on Final Yard Football on YouTube. Yeah, Jameis Winston was fantastic in college. And then just in the NFL, he's just never been able to prove it. Same as Marcus Mariota. Both of those quarterbacks going into make it and break it seasons now from the 2015 draft. Mariota and Winston, and it's just so unfortunate with the two of them. They just haven't been able to develop that big or so. We'll probably see more quarterbacks throughout the years be the determining factor. Maybe Trubisky or so, like 2022 with Trubisky, if he's still like the weakest point of the Bears offense, because he just did not show it in week 1. He just did not play his game in week 1 at all. Making some really bad reads out there. Passing the ball. Looks like he's not going to be a top 15 quarterback, most likely this year in fantasy. But yeah, I haven't got a clear picture of Jimmy Garoppolo yet. Like, what to expect from Jimmy G this season. He starts out with some of the weaker opponents here. He got the Buccaneers in week 1. I think he threw a touchdown pass, but there were a good amount of incompletions that he threw. And then Jimmy G gets the Bengals next week, which the Bengals held the Seahawks to only 21 points. Last season's Bengals defense was terrible, but the first game this season, yesterday against Seattle, at Seattle, they weren't that bad. They were leading throughout most of that game, too. No, I did not pick up Jameis Winston in fantasy football. I've never had him on my team, by the way. Actually, Vaughn, this is the first year that I'm not playing fantasy, surprisingly, since 2015. So my league manager was supposed to activate the league for us. He told us that he was supposed to activate the league, and then, like, 2 days before, he kept on telling us, and he just never didn't. It's so unfortunate. So, this is the first year since, like, 2014 that I haven't played fantasy. It's so weird. It's a weird feeling, but at least I'm able to track the games. Like, every single game here, just take it in right now. What's happened this week, it's fantastic. Alright, Alvin Kamara, 5 receptions, 54 yards. He was on my fantasy team last year. I got him for some big amount of points, especially that game against the Giants where he went off for like a 80-something yard touchdown run in the final minutes against the Giants, just straight through the defense. Alright, but the Texans will receive this kick from Will Lutz. It goes to the back of the end zone. They'll take it out, starting at their own 25. So 12:51 left to go in the third quarter, and it was a 14-3 game, and then Latavius Murray just puts it right into the end zone untouched on the run. We've had We've had 2 touchdown runs in this game so far. The quarterback keeper, Deshaun Watson, he actually went to the blue medical tent to start out the third quarter here, to start out this half. He went to the blue medical tent to check out his back. He was in some back pain, but he's back on the field right now. Watson hands it off left side to Hyde. Hyde gets the edge past the 30 and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. That appears to be a first down with a 1st and 10 coming up. So Carlos Hyde activated here for the Houston Texans, coming in from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was just signed, I believe, on Saturday for the Houston Texans. So 12.5 left to go in the third quarter right now. That's such a cool field to be. I wish I was at, like, the Superdome, like, could go there someday. It's such a cool field. Watson takes the snap, passes. Left side is incomplete. It's short and wide of DeAndre Hopkins is who he was targeting to. Brings up a 2nd and 10 here with about the 36. Deshaun Watson, too, was in pain earlier in this game. He's gone to the medical tent twice with, I believe it's been, like, a back injury, like, feeling back pain. He was stretching out his back earlier in this game, too. Alright, we have a 2nd and 10 coming up. 12-11 left to go in the third quarter. Watson is huge to this team. They do have a backup quarterback, though, that is pretty good. A.J. McCarron, who's a backup for backup standards. Watson hands it off to the running back, Duke Johnson. Johnson takes it left side and cuts up towards the middle and gains around 1 on the play. Brings up a 3rd and 9. As far as the backups for, like, all these teams in the NFL, the Jaguars just don't really have, like, any quarterback that's usable there. They're going to struggle throughout the season. I guess that they're expecting to rely on their defense, I guess, because they have Gardner Minshew as their starting quarterback, who's like a 6th-round draft pick from Washington State. And then today they traded with the Steelers to pick up Josh Dobbs, who's the number 3-string quarterback. So it's so weird. So I guess Minshew, they're going with for the starter. Watson takes the snap, back to pass. He's going to step up, throw it down the field, and that is a first down to the 45-yard line of Saints territory. That ball gets caught by Will Fuller. A 3rd and 8, and Deshaun Watson pulls out a complete dart over the middle right there to Will Fuller. Watson faked it once towards the left side, and then he threw it down the middle of the field for a first down. That's a great play. Under 11 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Yeah, Blake Bortles has just been terrible. Don't pick him. I would not want the Jaguars to pick him up. That's why they released him. Don't have him back in the system once again. Watson takes the snap. Handoff. HB drop the middle. Back to the line of scrimmage. On the play for the Texans. Brings up a 2nd and 10 here. So 10.5 coming up left to go in the third quarter right now. That's the run defense that we saw from last season with the Saints. The rush defense that was sneaky good, top 5 in the NFL against the run. So 2nd and 10 coming up, 10-15 left to go right now in the third quarter. Watson under center, ace formation in the backfield right now. It's Carlos Hyde. Ball at the 45 of Saints territory. Watson, play action fake. Here comes the defense, and Watson's just going to chuck it up towards the left side of the sideline, towards the crowd right there. As that pass rush came completely through, untouched up the middle. Deshaun Watson, in that pass rush, is just asking for Deshaun Watson to get killed on these snaps. Just zero pass protection right there. Many defensive line players just coming right through up the middle. Numerous players, like 3 or 4 of them, untouched, coming through the middle to force the pressure on the Watson just to throw that ball away. 7 for 7 right now on 3rd down for Deshaun Watson in this game with a touchdown and 4 first downs. Have yourself a game on 3rd down, Deshaun. He has another one. 3rd and 10, ball at the 45. He steps up now to scramble. Watson, past the 40, does have a first down to the 35, to the 30, right side, down the sideline, out of bounds at the 32. Deshaun Watson with a 13-yard scamper picks up the 1st and 10 here for the Texans. He is so mobile right there, out of the pocket, can just step up and run, and that's what you have to watch out. He can do it both ways. He can kill you with passing the ball. He can also use his mobility, step up and run for it for a first down like he did right there. Deshaun just getting towards the right side and getting out of bounds around the 32-yard line. He was the #1 fantasy player back in 2017 until he went down with the ACL injury. Ball now as they hand it off left side past the 25 to the 21-yard line. It's Carlos Hyde on the run right there towards the left side. We have 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter right now. The Texans trying to get into the red zone here at the moment, stringing together a really solid drive. Second and 4 coming up right now for the Houston Texans as they're just shy of the 20-yard line in the red zone. Watson in the ace formation, and he'll go play action bootleg. Bootleg right side towards the corner, and he gets picked off. Intercepted by Lattimore. Lattimore past the 5, left side, down the sideline, past the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Jukes past Watson, 40, out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Off the interception, we do have a flag in the play. I believe it was some movement there up front. We'll see what the flag's called. Deshaun. And it's an offsides call by the defense. That is a killer for the Saints. Mitchell Lowe and offsides. There was the movement. That was the flag at the line of scrimmage right there on the snap. So the Saints, that was so weird. Like, nobody was moving on that snap. Offsides. Yup, there was movement. Wow, Deshaun Watson knew he had a free play. He is lucky right there. So, it's an automatic first down. The offsides penalty will kill you all game. The Cleveland Browns yesterday, by the way, had 18 penalties for 182 total penalty yards. That's a killer, especially when you lose by 30 points and give up 43 to a Tennessee Titans offense that usually cannot reach the 43-point mark. First and 10 coming up with 8:24 left to go in the third. Ball still at the 21 for Deshaun Watson. Watson takes the snap, back to pass, passes over the middle, complete touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, second touchdown reception of this game. He has been fantastic. He's going to show you why. He'll be the #1 fantasy football wideout this season. His second touchdown grab, this one from 16 yards out. DeAndre putting this team on the board once again. It's a 10-point lead by the Texans right now, 20-10, with 8:20 left to go in the third. Deshaun Watson, have yourself a game. Right over the middle of the field, he gets DeAndre Hopkins. Let's see here on this route, just open right over the middle of the field, right underneath his man-to-man cover, and Marcus Williams, the safety, just got right in front of him and got the reception for the touchdown. Williams couldn't get right in front of that route. Hopkins just too good how he turned upfield right there, right at the short part of the end zone. This is a shocker here inside the dome. I had the Saints winning this game, by the way. This could be a shootout. If the Saints can put together drives like they did like the last drive, we could be going bad at like a points fest here for the second half. 8:20 left to go in the third. Kami Fairbairn coming on to attempt the extra point here for Fairbairn. The long snapper snaps it. This one held up right through the uprights on the kick by Fairbairn, making it 21-10 right now. DeAndre Hopkins, have yourself a day. Hopefully you picked them up and played them for a plug-and-play any day for fantasy. He should be the #1 fantasy wideout this season, a top 5 pick in the fantasy draft. Right now, 6 receptions, 52 yards, 2 TD catches by DeAndre Hopkins at this stage of the game. The leading wide receiver as far as receptions have gone for the Houston Texans offense. Will Fuller, 2 receptions, 69 yards. He's leading the yardage for wideouts. But Deshaun Watson, 14 for 21 passing. 160 yards right now in the air by Deshaun Watson at this stage of the game, as we'll get back to action here momentarily, as this is the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So we'll have 8:20 left to go in the third quarter when we do get back to this game. Deshaun Watson, though, lighting it up tonight. He could be due to have a big year. I want to see what this Texans schedule looks like, actually. Let's see what the schedule looks like for the upcoming games. We'll pull it up. We'll see what Deshaun's got next. And how about this? He has a very friendly matchup coming up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. If he's putting up points on the board like this to really improve New Orleans defense throughout the past 2 years, imagine what he can do next week against Jacksonville. The defense is pretty good for Jacksonville, but the offense, though, is going to struggle, most likely, keeping up with the Houston Texans for points. And if this Texans defense plays like this today and keeps stopping the Saints, this Jacksonville Jaguars team might not even be able to score any points next week with Gardner Minshew as quarterback. It looks to appear to be for next week's matchup against Houston. So that's the matchup. And then they have tougher games throughout the stretch here. Very tough games for the Texans throughout the early part of their schedule. They play at the Chargers in Week 3. Week 4, they're against Carolina. Carolina just barely lost to the LA Rams. And then they play against the Atlanta Falcons, who needs to get some revenge on some teams there. They got crushed against Minnesota. By the way, the Vikings look spectacular, too, at this stage of the season. Then they play at Kansas City, who just blew out Jacksonville. Then at Indianapolis with Jacoby Brissett, who had a gem of a game, but wasn't able to complete the comeback. They lost in overtime to the Chargers. Adam Vinatieri missed 3 field goals. Uncharacteristic of Adam, for sure. As how many years he's been in the NFL. I think he's like 24 seasons in the NFL. It's been crazy how many years Adam Vinatieri has played since I can remember. But this kick goes to the end zone as we are back to action. The Saints will take a knee right now with that kick at the end zone. So the Saints will take over at their own 25-yard line as we get back to action here in the game on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So right now, getting ready to go back to action in this game, guys. Thanks so much for being a part of this stream right now. 21-10 is the score with a touchdown just a few moments ago. DeAndre Hopkins got the touchdown reception from Deshaun Watson. Drew Brees in the shotgun right now. Takes the snap. Back to pass. Looking to pass it in. He does get it off to Kamara. Kamara at the 30 spin. Move. Breaks the tackle by Kamara past the 35. Gets the first down. What a second effort right there on a spin move by Alvin Kamara to make a defender whiff and pick up the first down. Looked like he beat tackle for a 5-yard gain. Spin move right there. Took it past the first down for a gain of 11. Incredible play by Alvin, man. Alvin Kamara is one of my favorite players in all of the NFL, by the way. 1st and 10 coming up for the Saints right now at the 31-yard line. 7:45 left to go in the third quarter right now. Alvin Kamara in the backfield. Single back set right now. Drew Brees under center. Brees, play action. Going to the air. Check down pass left side to Kamara. Another reception out of bounds once again for a gain of around 5 on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 5 with the ball at the 41. Or no, ball at the 36. Yeah, ball, I believe it's the 36-yard line here for Kamara. Kamara received it. Let's check where the position of this ball is. 2nd down coming up. We have 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Actually, it's a 7-yard reception. Actually, 2nd and 3, they'll say. I thought it was 5 yards on the reception. They'll say a little bit more. 2nd and 3. Okay, yeah, so I was right. 42-yard line. They actually place it. Breeze hands it off up the middle here. And I'll pick up the first down with the Saints. On the run up the middle, Latavius Murray, the power back, picks up the first down to the 47-yard line. Probably not Vaughn. I think that Bill Bryan most likely will still be the coach next season, unless they just have a disastrous record. But I see them probably making the playoffs, most likely. If not, 8-8, probably at its worst for this upcoming season for the Texans. Handoff up the middle. Oh no, they go with the quarterback keeper left side. Taysom Hill bouncing off a tackler, gains around 2 in the plays. They fake the run up the middle. Taysom Hill, as quarterback, kept it for a 2-yard gain, brings up a 2nd and 2 for the Saints. Or 2nd and 8 coming up for the Saints on the 2-yard gain. So Taysom Hill, it's how Sean Payton always activates him into the game. He does everything. Returns kicks, plays on special teams. He can do everything when you need him. Tackles players, plays quarterback. He's needed there as the 3rd-string quarterback. And he can, of course, he's strongest. What he does as the team runs the ball. Breeze back as quarterback, passes. Right side complete, first down for the Saints. Into the hands of Ted Ginn Jr. for another catch. Gain of 10 on the play. It'll be an automatic 1st and 10. 5:40 left to go in the third quarter right now. The Saints are moving the ball into Houston territory right now. So the only way that I can see Bill O'Brien getting fired from the Texans is like a terrible season, like 4-12, 3-13, or even worse than that for a record. But I don't see that happening. Breeze takes the snap, passes left side, complete once again, back to Ginn, 1st down at the 30. Inside Texans territory right now, 30 yards to the end zone for Ted Ginn on back-to-back catches here for the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees, what has changed in the second half here? Drew Brees is getting that ball out of his hands faster, quicker, and able to get it to the open receivers for the 1st down. And Ted Ginn's been able to get separation on the field. 4:50 left to go in the third. 1st and 10. Ace formation now going to the shotgun. Breeze going up to center, calling an audible. Back to the shotgun right now. He has Kamara towards his left. Breeze takes the snap. Back to pass here. Passes left side. That one's complete for a gain of 8 on the play to Michael Thomas. He's been able to get separation throughout this entire game right now. That is catch number 7 tonight for Michael Thomas. 7 receptions for 97 yards receiving so far in this game by can't guard Mike, number 13 for the New Orleans Saints. 4:20 left to go in the third quarter right now. Saints with a crucial 2nd and 3. Ball at the 23-yard line of Texans territory. 3 yards to the red zone. Breeze hands it off. Up the middle to Kamara. Kamara past a group of defenders. Takes it to the 15 and gets tackled. It looked like there was nothing there for number 41, but Alvin Kamara taking it up the middle, bouncing off a defender and gets the 1st down. This is vicious right here on this run by Alvin Kamara. Look at that patience. Patience, waiting for the hole to open up, and he does. I love Alvin Kamara's running style. Uses his blocker right there as his go-to man right in front, and then he finds the hole, cuts it right up the middle for a gain. Saints have not been able to capitalize in the red zone. They have it once again. 0 for 2 so far at the red zone. Ball at the 15-yard line of Houston. Breeze takes the snap. Flushed out towards his right, passes. That pass short of Kamara, incomplete. Lucky right there. Drew Brees wanted a flag in the play as he was dragged down on the ground as he was throwing that ball. But no flag though. Stops the clock at 3:32 left to go in this third quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line coming up here for the New Orleans Saints. They have yet to capitalize in the red zone. They are 0 for 2. Drew Brees threw an interception on the first drive. Picked by Whitney Merciless in the red zone they had. We'll see if they can finally capitalize. Make this a great game. HB toss here. Snapped over to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill takes it past the 15 to the 10. Bounces off a tackler. Gets to the 9. Taysom Hill on the option draw right there. Takes it for a 6-yard gain to the 9-yard line as they are now inside the 10. 3rd down coming up here for the Saints, and the crucial 3rd down with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Taysom Hill once again coming in as quarterback here. He's going to be set wide as a wide receiver towards the left. So Taysom Hill set up as a wide receiver. Drew Brees, the quarterback here in the shotgun. Kamara towards his left. Brees takes the snap. Passes over the middle. Complete touchdown. Taysom Hill. Not only does he do it running in the kicking game for the special teams, he can catch passes. He catches it for 6. 21-16 the score right now, and courteous of number 7, Taysom Hill. He does it all with a 9-yard touchdown reception. That is awesome. The versatility is incredible. What you can offer in the NFL, and Taysom Hill has a lot to do for this Sean Payton team in the New Orleans Saints, and right now it's a 21-16 game. Should they go for 2? That is the question right now. It's only a 4-point game. They're going to go for the extra point. So Will Lutz coming on to make this a 4-point game. So Will Lutz right now, I'm trying to make this a 4-point game at the moment. And we have 2:39 left to go in the third quarter here. And actually, we have a stoppage in time, a flag on the field right now. Flag right now. So Lutz hasn't even been able to get a kickoff right here through the uprights for the field goal. So we do have a flag in the play. So we'll check the flag here. This flag's on the extra point. So during the try, personal foul by the defense right there by the Texans, as the extra point is up and good. So personal foul on the defense, so that's enforced on the kickoff. So the extra point was up and good by Will Lutz, makes it 21-17, and the Houston Texans will get this ball right back. We do get back to action here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. What a game. And Taysom Hill with a touchdown reception. Drew Brees spreading out the ball to a bunch of different players today. He is hooked on... He's thrown the ball to 10 different receivers in this game, I believe. No, 9 different receivers. He has thrown it to 9 different receivers. Number 9 is the key in this game for number 9, Drew Brees. Throws a number 9 touchdown pass, 9-yard touchdown pass to Taysom Hill. So number 9 throws a number 9-yard touchdown pass to number 7, Taysom Hill, and the Saints cut the Texans' lead to 4. It's 21-17 here. Favorite college football team? Vaughn's asking me. I've always liked the Oregon Ducks, Vaughn. Always since I've been in middle school, I've loved the Oregon Ducks. I've always been able to track their quarterbacks when I was, like, younger. I think it's because of, like, the jerseys when I was growing up. The jerseys were, like, Oregon adopted, like, the first ever, like, cool jerseys with, like, ridiculous stuff on them. Like, the lime green, all these different, like, styles that they do with the jerseys. And they wore, like, a different jersey each week that I got to look forward to. So that's why I always look forward to the Oregon. Not the same jersey like some of the teams each week. I always got to look forward to different jerseys every week. But I can remember as far back as the quarterback being Dennis Dixon. I believe that was like 2007. And then Jeremiah Masoli came in as quarterback. I think he's playing in the Canadian Football League, Jeremiah Masoli. He used to be quarterback for Oregon like a decade ago. And then Darren Thomas was quarterback. Actually took Oregon to a national championship, but lost to Cam Newton in the national title game against Auburn. And then after that, they had, I believe, somebody else, and then Marcus Mariota, and then Justin Herbert right now. Oh, that's cool. California Golden Bears. That's cool. Yeah, their jerseys are pretty sweet too, the gold and blue. Basketball-wise, though, California has never really been a strong basketball team. They were dead last in the Pac-12 last season. So right now, we are on commercial break. We should be getting ready to go back to action with a kickoff here momentarily on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. Alright, so we're getting ready to go back to action here to kickoff. As it gets fielded at the 2-yard line by Houston, they take it to the 15-yard line. That's a big tackle right there by the special teams for the New Orleans Saints as we return from commercial break. Coming up with a tackle right there on special teams, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the rookie, the 4th-round draft pick from Florida for the New Orleans Saints. So 2:35 left to go in the third quarter, and coming back onto the field, Deshaun Watson. Now, I talked about it earlier, how Deshaun Watson has been a little bit in pain in this game with like a back. He's been in pain a little bit with his back throughout this game, but we'll see if what he can put together on this drive as he's still into the game. He checked into the blue medical tent twice, but it doesn't seem like he's been injured enough as he's still in this game. Watson takes the snap, passes left side, incomplete, down at the ground as he tried to get that ball off. Intended for his tight end as he threw it off his back foot and it was incomplete. Last 3 drives for the Texans have all resulted in a touchdown. 9-play drive, 75 yards TD. 16-play drive, it was a beautiful drive, by the way, 75 yards TD. And then 7 plays, 94 yards, and ended in a touchdown. 21-17 to score, 2.5 left to go in the third quarter. Watson under center, ace formation right now for the Texans, going in motion. Towards the right is a wide receiver, and they snap it off towards the left, and they gain around 2 on the carry on the HB counter right there by Duke Johnson. It'll bring up third and long scenario here for the Houston Texans. So the Saints pinning in Houston with a third and long scenario coming up here at this stage of the game. This is a big third down coming up for the Texans. 2:22 left to go on the clock here in the third quarter. The Dome right now is on fire. The fans are on their feet on a huge third down play here for Houston. 3rd and 8 at their own side of the field. Will the Saints defense have what it takes to stop the Texans offense on this huge third down play? We'll see. Everybody's on their feet right now at the Dome. The Dome is lit at this moment. 3rd and 8 coming up. Watson operating out of the shotgun. A running back towards his left right now for the Houston Texans. 3 wide towards the right. 1 wide towards the left right now. Watson takes the snap. Drops back to pass. Passes down the field. Deep pass. Down the right side. And it's intercepted by the Saints. Jumping off the route right there is Marcus Williams, the full safety, with an interception with 1:48 left to go in the third. And Marcus Williams just got dragged to the ground by a Houston Texan. They're going at it. Things are getting chippy down the sideline right now. There's a fight brewing between teams along the sideline, and flags are thrown immediately. Marcus Williams got the interception, fell to the ground, and then he got up, and then he was chucked right down to the ground by a Houston Texans player, and then both of these sides are meeting up right now. We might have ejections in this game if this got chippy. We'll see here. But that is an interception. We have flags down on the ground right now. DeAndre Hopkins was the one who just threw down Marcus Williams straight to the ground. He just slammed him, body slammed him right to the ground. DeAndre Hopkins did. DeAndre Hopkins with a body slam. 15-yard penalty enforced to that for the Saints coming up. Wow. If you didn't see that, go on to Twitter, go onto YouTube, and somebody will be posting that up probably, hopefully shortly. DeAndre Hopkins body slamming down to the ground Marcus Williams after he got the interception and went up. After he got the grab, Marcus Williams fell down to the ground, and then he got up. He wasn't touched, and DeAndre Hopkins was right there to tackle him and body slammed him right to the ground. Wow. That is a once-in-a-lifetime thing right there that you'll ever see. DeAndre Hopkins body slamming somebody to the ground. So make sure to go on whatever source you have and try to see if you can find that, because that must be trending right now. He just body slammed Marcus Williams straight down to the ground. So that's unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty they put to DeAndre Hopkins. Classic, though. That is a classic WWE style at its finest right there by DeAndre Hopkins. So, what just happened on the last play was Deshaun Watson threw an interception. Marcus Williams for the Saints picked off the ball. It was a deep throw by Deshaun Watson. Marcus Williams picked off the pass, and then he intercepted it. He was down at the ground. He wasn't touched, so he got back up and tried to run with the ball, and immediately he was met by DeAndre Hopkins, who body slammed Marcus Williams right down to the turf. And the refs flagged DeAndre Hopkins for a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty for the body slam. It looked exactly what you see in, like, WWE. Like, actual wrestling. Like, he just tore him right down to the ground. So, when you have a chance, Brent, feel free, just go on to Twitter. I am sure that somebody has it on Twitter right now, the video. I'm pretty sure somebody has it up right now, what that replay looks like. Oh, man, it is hilarious. So, the Saints will get the ball here after this commercial break. Right now with that last interception thrown. So Deshaun Watson threw the pick, and Drew Brees back under center right now for the Saints. So 1:48 left to go in the third quarter. Oh, man. Yeah, classic. They just showed it on the screen, too. 7th career interception for Marcus Williams for the Saints. He had 2 picks last season. So Drew Brees under center. Great field position right now for the Saints at the 49-yard line of Houston territory. They're in the ace formation. Brees back to pass. Passes left side. That one's complete. And Michael Thomas receives a gain of 8 on the play as he's out of bounds at the 41. Marcus Williams on the interception. He came 34 yards on the opposite side of the field to pick off Deshaun Watson. That's incredible defense right there by Marcus Williams. 1:15 left to go in the third quarter right now. Drew Brees with about the 41-yard line. Second one coming up for the Saints. They can take a lead with a touchdown. Going in motion again. Brees instead. HB toss over to Kamara. Kamara past the 40. Past the 35 to the 30 left side. He's finding some green. Past the 20. Breaks the tackle. 15 to the 13. The ball is out. The ball is out. Jared Cook recovers it, but I believe Kamara is down anyway. About the 13-yard line. So the refs say that Kamara was down at the 13-yard line with a big run on the play. Right there by Alvin Kamara. Gain of 28 on that run. Anyway, it works out with the Saints. So Kamara fumbled the football. I thought his knee was down. Yeah, his elbow was down. His elbow was down completely. And the ball came out. That ball came out way late. Yeah, we're looking at it. That ball just came out way late by Kamara. So anyway, it was recovered by the Saints. If it was a challenge and recovered by Houston for some reason on the fumble, the Saints would have got it back. His elbow was down. Taysom Hill in as quarterback right now in the shotgun. And we have 11 seconds remaining. We do have a whistle here on the play. So timeout called by Sean Payton. Sean Payton calls a timeout. 11 seconds left to go before this third quarter finishes. On the Sports Dish on Sportscaster. Alvin Kamara, though, just bursting right through the hole on the last play with a big run by Kamara. Alvin Kamara with his longest run of the game for 26 yards. We're going to look at the stats here for Kamara. Hopefully you have him in fantasy, because if not, it's going to be tough if you do ever end up against your opponent playing against Alvin Kamara this season, whoever picked him up. 7 carries, 50 yards by Kamara in this game. Kamara for receiving, that's what he does best. 7 receptions for 72 yards by Kamara. If he can punch it into the end zone, he has even more value in this one. 13 seconds left to go as we are back to action right now. Saints with the ball as they are in the red zone. Ball at the 12-yard line of Houston. They have a chance to take their first lead of the game. Brees takes the snap, drops back to pass, passes left side, swings it over right there to the tight end, Josh Hill, and he loses 2 on the play, takes it to the 14-yard line as he backs up 2 yards. So that is the end of the third quarter here on Final Yard Football on YouTube. 15 minutes of football remaining. That is something that you have to do in order to play in the NFL. You have to play a full 60 minutes of football. We've gone through 45 so far here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster and Final Yard Football on YouTube. What a game it has been between these two teams. It has been a battle. Next stream, I believe Vaughn will be on Sunday. I'll be streaming probably 2 games. The Patriots game probably when I get home after I'm on vacation on Saturday night. And so it should be Sunday morning or whatever that, yeah, Sunday at 1 p.m. against the Dolphins when they play them. And then I'll have the Sunday night football game for sure. The Falcons versus the Eagles. I'll have way more streams though on my Sportscaster account. So if you guys don't know what Sportscaster is, feel free to just check out that link that I'll put in the description. I'm on Sportscaster streaming this game, by the way. I'm doing this from 2 computers at once. Right here, I have a computer towards my left on Sportscaster. I have this computer in front of me on YouTube. It's called the Sports Dish on Sportscaster. It's one platform for all my streams: basketball, football, baseball, all the sports on one platform there on Sportscaster. And I get the brands here all over YouTube: Final Yard Football, Behind the Arc Basketball. So right now on commercial break. This is a huge possession here with this drive for the New Orleans Saints. That's for sure. With the ball spotted at the 14-yard line of Houston. Coming up a 2nd and 12 and 15 minutes even on the clock to start the fourth quarter. So this is a huge possession right now for the New Orleans Saints. As the red zone efficiency, they were 0 for 2 to start out in the red zone in this game. We'll see if they can capitalize here later in this game inside the red zone. But yeah, Monday Night Football is back. Exciting, that is for sure, as Monday Night Football is back. Let's see what else we have. I know there's a game on Thursday. I can't do that game, unfortunately, because I don't actually have NFL Network at my house. It's a pay-per-view channel, so I don't get it here since I don't have cable. I am streaming this game from my laptop on ESPN, so I'm able to get ESPN. I just can't get NFL Network since it's pay-per-view. So the 2 Thursday night games that's on NFL Network I can't do, but I'll be back with the Thursday night games, I think later in the month when they actually switch over to Fox. I'll have all those for you guys. The 2 NFL Network games, too, they're not really like the biggest teams. I think it's the Panthers versus the Buccaneers this week. Breeze takes the snap, drops back, flushed out towards his right, passes, right side, and it is caught. Touchdown, Traquan Smith. The Saints have taken the lead. 23-21, Traquan Smith open at the right side of the end zone for the touchdown grab. 14-yard catch from Drew Brees. Flushed out towards the right from the pocket, and Drew Brees passes it to Traquan Smith for a touchdown. This place in the Dome right now is booming. They have come from behind to lead this game at the moment here. The first play of the fourth quarter looked like that by Drew Brees. Flushed out right towards the pocket. Throws on the run, and Drew Brees throws an absolute gem over to Traquan Smith for the touchdown catch. Will Lutz here on the attempt to extra point. 4 plays, 49 yards, and courteous of the interception. Took a minute and 53 off the clock, and the extra point by Will Lutz is indeed good. 24-21 right now the score between these two teams, as the Saints have their first lead of this game here with 14:55 left to go in the fourth quarter. Age 40, and look at what Drew Brees has done. Over 74,000 passing yards in his career, 67.3 completion percentage, 522 passing touchdowns. He is the career all-time passing yards leader. It was Traquan Smith who caught the 62-yard pass last season in Monday Night Football against the Washington Redskins to help out Drew Brees regain that record. And it is indeed Traquan Smith who catches this touchdown pass to get the Saints the go-ahead lead at this stage of the game at this moment. 24-21, the Saints have their first lead of the game, courteous to a 14-yard touchdown grab by Traquan Smith. And before that, it was Marcus Williams who picked off Deshaun Watson. And then thank you to the penalty by DeAndre Hopkins, because the Saints now have a 3-point lead. So the Saints now to kick off this ball. The Texans back to receive. So Saints now to kick off this ball, and they'll go back towards the back of the end zone out of bounds, and the Texans will take over from their own 25-yard line. Traquan Smith indeed had that great Monday Night Football moment. He caught Drew Brees' go-ahead all-time passing yards record. And now Deshaun Watson back out on the field once again. 14:55 left to go in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 with the ball at the Texans' own 25-yard line right now. The last play did not go so well for Houston. It was an interception. Marcus Williams picked off Deshaun Watson. Watson back out on the field. Shotgun formation here for Deshaun. He'll hand it off on a jet sweep, and he gets tackled right from behind right there. Marshawn Lattimore rips him right down for a loss of 5 in the play on the jet sweep. 2nd and 15 coming up for the Texans. The Saints have taken over this entire game at the moment. That's awesome. I think he's definitely going to get it this season for sure. Drew Brees should be able to get that 17 more touchdown passes. He should get that this season, most likely. He'll probably have it, or so I guess, probably by like week 7 or week 8, most likely. 2nd and 14 coming up for the Texans. 14-15 left to go in the fourth quarter. Watson takes the snap, operating it empty right now, 5 wide. Rolled out to his right, a lot of time. Passes right side, complete gain of 3. Oh, they break a tackle past the first down line. As they get past the right side, you have to wrap up right there if you're the Saints defender. And he didn't. He broke a tackle down the right sideline for a first down. We do have a flag, though, in the play. We're going to check the flag here. 14:04 left to go in this fourth quarter. So, flag in the play. And looks like that was holding right there. That was holding by the Saints. So, penalty committed by the Saints on the play. Demario Davis holding on DeAndre Hopkins as Hopkins was in his route running across the field. So, 1st and 10 here. For the Texans, Watson out of the shotgun. Watson hands it off. HB draw up the middle, past the 40. Stiff arm to the 45. Past the 50, right sideline. 45 out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Big run right there by Carlos Hyde. 18-yard pickup on the run by Carlos Hyde, who is actually a member of the Houston Texans 9 days ago. Last Saturday, he was traded over to the Houston Texans. Carlos Hyde today has been showing his value in the running game. Ball right now at the 44-yard line of Saints territory for the Houston Texans. This could be a shootout for the fourth quarter for sure. 13 minutes left to go in the fourth. Watson under center, single back set right behind him. Watson, play action fake. Oh, watch out. He gets sacked, dropped to midfield. On the play, loss of 6 right there. The offensive line could not block for Deshaun Watson. And the defensive line coming through. Anzalone for the New Orleans Saints gets the sack. Alex Anzalone, the linebacker. Let's see here in the last play. Alex Anzalone just coming right through up the middle, just completely free and gets the sack. So 12.5 left to go in the fourth quarter right now. The Houston Texans are backed up at midfield. They have a 2nd and 16 right now. Shotgun formation coming on for Deshaun Watson with a running back towards his left. I believe that is Johnson. Yes, it is. Watson passes, screen pass over left side, complete into the hands of DeAndre Carter. He gets stood up right there by the Saints defense for no gain on the play. Von Bell making the tackle. It'll be a 3rd and 16. What a great game. The energy is insane right now inside this dome. 3rd and long coming up for the Texans. This is a huge 3rd and long at this stage of the game. Everybody on their feet right now in the Superdome. 11:40 left to go in the fourth quarter right now. Deshaun Watson back in the shotgun with a running back towards his left. That's Duke Johnson. Watson takes the snap back to the 40. Rolls up right now. Steps towards his right. He gets tripped up and he is sacked. Loss of 9 on the play. Back-to-back sacks here for the Saints defense. There's a flag in the play, though. We'll check the flag. That's going to hurt. That's a holding call on the offense by the Texans and the Saints. We'll get this ball back on the punt coming up. Central Henderson with another holding call in this game for the Houston Texans. And the offensive line woes continue for Houston tonight. They've been so weak on the offensive line. That's one of their weakest components. In like the past 4 or 5 seasons, they've been so weak on the offensive line. So now the Texans will have to punt this ball away. They're inside the hole right now. They're down by 3. The Saints currently have come back and they have the lead. The Saints were down in this game 21-10. They've come back and they have 14 points unanswered. Trevor Daniel to punt this ball away. Back to return the punt will be Deontay Harris. This ball snapped to Daniel. Daniel punts this ball away for Houston. 11 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. As this will be a fair catch by Harris. He catches it at his own 3-yard line. As we have a flag down in the play, we'll check to see what this flag is on the punt. So let's see what this flag coming up to appear to be here. We have 10:55 left to go in the fourth. Let's see what this call is at this stage of the game. A legal formation on the punting team right there. So legal formation by the Texans. Okay, so the Saints elected to accept that penalty from the previous spot, and they're going to re-kick the 4th down. So the fair catch was called for around 3-yard line by the Saints, but the Texans will have to re-kick this ball once again. So 4th and 28 backs up the Texans a little bit. Should be better field position coming up for the Saints because the Texans will be pinned to punt the ball back further from their own side of the field now. So 4th and 28 coming up. We have 10:55 left to go in the 4th quarter. We'll redo the punt here for the Houston Texans. Yeah, they have to pick up the ball behind Deontay Harris. So they picked up the ball behind Deontay Harris. You have to give that to the long snapper to snap it again, though. 4th and 28 coming up. This punt will be even further back here for the Texans. So Texans to re-punt this ball over to New Orleans here. Okay, they reset it here. The long snapper. Back to snap. This punt away as the punter's back at his own 25. He boots this one off. And the Saints back to return. They'll return it. Ooh, that's a bad punt. Bounces forward, actually. And it's not touched by the Saints as it is down at the 26-yard line. A 34-yard punt by the Texans. So, the first punt, they pinned them with a fair catch at the 3. The second punt was a terrible punt. A 34-yard punt. That's not how you're going to be able to get the job done today. So, going back to action right now. The Saints with a come-from-behind lead at this stage of the game. 14 points unanswered right now by New Orleans as they hold a 24-21 lead here on the Sports Dish, on Sportscaster, and Final Yard Football on YouTube. So, let's look at the numbers at this stage of the game, shall we? So, this is what it looks like right now. Drew Brees, 27 for 36 passing, 2 touchdowns, had the early interception in the first quarter in the red zone, but other than that, he's bounced back and has been great so far in this game. 288 total yards. Receiving-wise, Alvin Kamara, 7 receptions, 72 yards. He had a long reception of 41 yards. Michael Thomas, 8 receptions for 106 yards by Michael Thomas. Ted Ginn Jr. getting into the action, 4 receptions for 36 yards by Ginn. Alvin Kamara, the leading ball rusher, 7 carries for 50 yards. Latavius Murray, 4 carries for 40 yards right now. I'd like to see, me personally, I'd like to see the Saints run the ball a whole lot more towards the later stages of this game. They've attempted 36 passes with Brees. Only 13 carries so far by the Saints in this game. So, mix it up a little bit more. They've run the ball a third of what they've passed the ball so far. 3-to-1 ratio with passing to running. So, I'd say you got to run the ball here for the last, 11 minutes or so in action in this game. I like to see the Saints run the ball a whole lot more to close out this game. That'd be really nice to see. Alvin Kamara has been able to get some big runs, too. So that's been helpful. Just run it a little bit more. Get some blockers here. Move on to your next game right after that if you can close out this game with a W for the New Orleans Saints, because right now the Texans have looked sloppy throughout these last few possessions. So actually the Saints will go with a showdown here. NFC title game matchup once again, and it starts off in week 2 as the Saints will take on the Rams, and it'll be at Los Angeles next week. So Saints versus Rams at Los Angeles next week, and that will be the game. So week 2 already, Saints have a test, NFC showdown, and the NFC title game once again. And of course, the Saints want revenge on the Rams, and I think they'll be able to get it next week. Hey, what's good, Brent? Thanks so much for joining me back here. Let's see here. Who do I think breaks Manning's record first? Brees or Brady for touchdown passes? Let's see here if I pull up touchdown pass leaders. Let's see. I'll get back to that in a second here. 10:47 left to go. Brees with the ball once again. Passes down the middle field. Complete, wide open. Oh, he dropped it. Alvin Kamara had it in his hands for a second, and the ball came out as he hit the turf. He was wide open on that play. There was a flag down, though. Wouldn't have counted anyway. There's a holding call on Ryan Ramczyk of the Saints anyway on the offensive line. So let's see here. NFL passing touchdown career leaders. So these are the numbers. Peyton Manning has 539 passing touchdowns. Tom Brady, 520. Drew Brees, 520. Both of them are tied right now. And then Rivers with 377. The next active one at number 6. Brett Favre at number 4. Marino at number 5. But Brees and Brady are now tied. They need 19 more to tie. 20 more to win. As Brees will hand this one off up the draw. Right side of Kamara. Past the 20 to the 25 to the 30. Sees daylight. Breaks the tackle. 35. Bounces off another defender. Takes it all the way to the 45-yard line. Alvin Kamara. Huge run on the play. Oh my gosh. Alvin Kamara slicing and dicing right there. Breaking tackle after tackle. And picking up the first down. It looked like he'd be stopped for a 5-yard gain, but he blows right past these guys. Not 1, not 2. Boom. 3, 4. Breaking 4 tackles on the play. Wow. Okay, I think honestly it's going to be Tom Brady probably first. It seems like they're probably going to pass the ball more, and they got the schedule to do it. With the Dolphins next week, he can probably put up 4 or 5 touchdown passes against the Dolphins next week, and he'll get Antonio Brown too. So I've got Tom Brady over Drew Brees. And also with Drew Brees, you have Taysom Hill, who's integrated into the game too. So he can take some snaps away, like 4 or 5 snaps probably per game from Drew Brees as quarterback. So I see Tom Brady over Drew Brees to get Peyton Manning's record first for the passing touchdown record. So Brees tonight, though, spectacular. 27 for 36 passing, 288 yards in the air. But they used Alvin Kamara in the run, and that's where he was able to bulldoze and break 4 tackles on 2 plays ago. That run up the middle didn't go anywhere, but we're back to a 2nd and 11 here. Brees tried to get around the pressure, but he gets sacked, dropped back right there. The Texans finally record a sack. Whitney Merciless drags down Drew Brees. He's been a nightmare as Whitney Merciless picks up his first sack of the game, the first team sack by the Texans here. So the only nightmare for Drew Brees in this game has been Whitney Merciless picking him off in the first quarter. And then the sack right there. Let's see, your worst NFL play of all time, Vaughn saying. That would have to be the Colts versus Patriots on Sunday Night Football, I think like 3 or 4 years ago, where the Colts lined up for a 4th down. As Brees will hand this one off to Kamara. Kamara past the 40. Spin move to the 42. Forward progress will get him. Brings up a 4th down, though. Not enough for the first down. But I'd say Sunday Night Football, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, Pats versus Colts. It was the worst play of all time that I've ever seen. Was that the Colts set the center, and then they set one player behind the center in like a special teams formation. They went for it, and then they set everybody up wide to be a wide receiver. They couldn't even get the snap off, and they snapped the ball, and they were immediately tackled. It just made no sense. It was a turnover on downs. Like, I don't know why they snapped it anyway. 4th and 13. Morstead will punt this ball away. As he'll punt it towards the right sideline. That ball is a good punt. What a punt by the Saints right there. Thomas Morstead pins the Texans inside their own 5 at the 4-yard line. 53-yard punt. So the Texans' last punt was a terrible punt of 34 yards, I believe. Thomas Morstead angles that one out at the 4-yard line, so the Texans will take the ball next, 96 yards from their own end zone. They'll take over at their own 4-yard line when we get back to action here after this commercial break. What a punt by Morstead. Wow. What a turn of events here that the Saints have led in this game, but the Texans do get the ball. Hey, what's good, Nick? Thanks so much for joining me back here in the chat right now. Yeah, not a whole lot of teams most likely can't defend the Patriots, and there's not a bunch of teams that can score as much points as the Patriots, I see, throughout the season. Once they get Antonio Brown, the Patriots team's going to be so tough to defend this upcoming season. When Antonio Brown learns the playbook, if they perform to their ceiling, Josh Gordon wasn't even seeing like a ton of snaps yesterday. Like that's how many wide receiving players they have, like how deep the receiving core is for the Patriots. Since Gordon's been reinstated, Julian Edelman just sees volume after volume with Brady. I feel like Edelman's going to be the go-to wide receiver, even with Brown in the lineup. I feel like Edelman's going to get more targets than Brown because Tom loves to just throw it right to the slot to Edelman. We saw Jacoby Myers get a catch last night for 22 yards. Philip Dorsett got two receiving touchdowns. He's been on the rise as well. Yeah, it looks that way, Vaughn. Antonio Brown went to the Patriots. People have been talking about it earlier today, if that was all set up. Like, if that was all in store throughout the offseason, I'd be very curious about that. I don't believe so. People from the media are saying, I don't believe so. But we'll see how this all plays out with AB now playing for the Pats. Yeah, the butt fumble, too. That was a terrible play. That was on Thanksgiving night against the Jets when Mark Sanchez, the classic butt fumble. Unfortunate, though. If you're the other three teams from the AFC East, it's so sad. Yeah, the Patriots don't have a good tight end, but they really don't even need one now. They don't need somebody to replace Gronk at tight end. Because basically the two tight ends now, their role will basically be blocking, since they acquired Antonio Brown. They'll go and just throw to the wide receiver now. So this is my only game I'm doing tonight. There is a game right after this, Broncos versus Raiders. I won't be doing that game, though, because that is so late. I'm from Massachusetts, by the way, so it starts at 10:20 at night, and it probably won't be done until, like, 2 in the morning. Okay, this snap by the Texans. They get out past the 5-yard line to the 6 to get tackled on the HB draw. We have 7.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter right now. This is a 3-point game. Saints lead 24-21. Texans with the ball, though, at their own 6-yard line. Second down coming up here for the Houston offense. Deshaun Watson, 4 rushes for 40 yards and a touchdown today. 172 passing yards in the air. Watson in the shotgun takes the snap back to pass. Passes left side, and it's off the fingertips. Incomplete for DeAndre Hopkins, as the coverage right there behind him was Marshawn Lattimore. Oh, yeah, I can imagine Von Miller just having a night feasting all over Derek Carr today, for sure. And the offensive line probably will look shaky tonight for the Oakland Raiders. It's going to look bad for Oakland. I've got Denver in that game. 24-21 right now. 7-11 left to go in the fourth quarter. Earlier this week, I picked the Broncos to win that game 14-10. But now without Antonio Brown, that was if they had AB playing. As Watson takes the snap, passes left side. There's a flag. That's a false start by the Texans. Backs them up 5. Since they don't have AB now, this Raiders team looks like they'll go 2-14. Actually, I just want to see on the schedule here, if the Dolphins ever play the Raiders this season. I'm not sure if they do. I wonder if the Dolphins actually play the Raiders, because that would actually be like a matchup for last place, basically. 7-11 left to go in the fourth quarter. False start brings the ball to the 3-yard line of Houston. So the Houston 3-yard line. Watson takes the snap. Back to pass from his own end zone. Passes over the middle of the field. Complete diving catch at the 25. Incredible catch by DeAndre Hopkins to keep this drive alive with 7 minutes even on the clock. With a 22-yard catch down the middle of the field by DeAndre. The number 2 wide receiver in receiving yards last season. And DeAndre Hopkins catches the ball for a first down. That was huge. That was huge. Yeah, Vaughn. Is your team the Jets? I'm most likely guessing. I'm guessing your team's the Jets, Vaughn. Alright, 1st and 10 here. Carry to Johnson. Johnson, pass the first down. Down the right sideline here. Pass midfield. 45. Gets tackled at the 43-yard line. Duke Johnson with a huge run. Brings up another 1st and 10 scenario here for the Texans. The Texans could go down, march down the field here. 96 yards on this drive. Would that be something here? Duke Johnson Jr. got the whole right side in the first down. Looking at the Raiders' schedule here, they do not have the Dolphins. They have the Jets. So they have the Jets from the AFC East. So that's who they play right before Thanksgiving. Let's see if the Broncos have them. Do the Broncos have the Dolphins, or do they have Baltimore? I mean, or do they have Buffalo? That's what I mean. Yeah, okay, they got Buffalo. We've got, Patriots got Kansas City. So that means that it would be See here, the Raiders. So the Raiders get the Jets and the Dolphins. As we're back to action here, Watson gets the snap, tries to step up into the pressure. He has taken down for a sack right at the no-gain line right there with 5.5 left to go in the fourth quarter. Second down coming up in a 24-21 game. What a game between both of these teams. So that means that the Dolphins have the Chargers this season from the AFC West. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the Dolphins that they were the second place team in the AFC East and they get the Chargers. 5 sacks here by the Saints tonight. Watson hands it off to his running back Johnson. No gain at all in the play. Stopped right there at the line of scrimmage. Brings up a 3rd and long coming up. Under 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter right now on the Sportscaster stream and Final Yard Football on YouTube. Thanks so much all for joining me towards my stream tonight. Man, I feel you, Vaughn. I feel you. If you're a Jets fan, if you're a Bills fan, for Antonio Brown not to go to the Bills, that's a crusher. Same as Carolina, too. To not play with Cam Newton, like, they really need a wide receiver. They have, like, a bunch of, like, no-name wide receivers, and to not play with Cam, that was interesting. Like, why would you not play with Cam? He's Superman. 3rd and 11 coming up for Watson. Watson back to pass, and he is sacked. He is taken down for a 10-yard loss. He is devoured. That is sack number 6 tonight for the New Orleans Saints defense. Coming right through for the sack is Trey Hendrickson, the 3rd-year player from Florida Atlantic. This offensive line here for the Texans tonight is a killer. It's killed them all game. All game here. 6 sacks for 34 yards lost by Deshaun Watson. It's not even his problem. It's the offensive line. It is struggling once again. Actually, I'm not going to put the possession arrow on the punt yet for the Saints because... Okay, yeah, so they're not going for it. So, the Texans will punt this ball away. So, the Texans will indeed punt this ball away. I had to check to see if they were going for it. So, the Saints call for the fair catch at around their own 17-yard line. So, fair catch at their own 17-yard line right there by Deontay Harris. So we do have a flag in the play. We have 3.5 left to go in this fourth quarter. If you guys enjoy what I do, feel free to hit that fan button there on Sportscaster. Become a fan of mine. And also hit the subscribe button on YouTube as well. So block in the back by the receiving team. So push the Saints back a little bit further with 3:29 left to go in the fourth here at the Dome. Yeah, AFC East plays the NFC East this season. So... quite the season for the Patriots when they have one of the shortest ways to travel this season. How about the Buffalo Bills playing 2 straight games at MetLife? They played against the Jets yesterday, and then they play against the Giants coming up for this upcoming Sunday. So back-to-back games at MetLife for the Bills. When have you like ever seen that on the schedule? Like a team gets 2 same games in back-to-back weeks at the same stadium. So they start out, Buffalo starts out with 2 other teams they play from the same state. And then their schedule after that goes to different places. But yeah, the Patriots take on, back-to-back weeks in October, they take on the Redskins and the Giants. And back-to-back weeks. On that quick turnaround, Thursday Night Football, they have the Giants actually. And then the AFC East also has the AFC North this year. So the Browns, the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens, of course. The Ravens can light up points. That's the team that everybody has to be concerned about, is the Baltimore Ravens. Can light up points. Everybody was saying, what about Lamar Jackson? He looks like he should be a wide receiver or a running back, not a quarterback. Well, he proved everybody wrong yesterday. 5 touchdown passes, was almost near perfect passing the ball, and everybody's saying right now, Lamar MVP, because right now he's looking in MVP form. Some of these quarterbacks have gone off in week 1, by the way, pointing out a couple of them. Dak Prescott just destroying the Giants secondary in week 1. Andy Dalton throwing the ball over 420 passing yards in the first game against a pretty challenging Seahawks defense at Seattle. I honestly thought that the Bengals would score like 6 points there and struggle to score against Seattle. And they turned out Andy Dalton right now is the #1 quarterback of the week for passing yards. What a surprise there. Who else? Tom Brady, of course, gashing up the Steelers secondary. 2 TDs over to Dorsett. Patrick Mahomes had quite the game. Sammy Watkins almost had 200 receiving yards against the Jaguars. A bunch of quarterbacks just went off in week 1. Case Keenum had a pretty bright showing. Jacoby Brissett was pretty good in his season opener. Phillip Rivers had a pretty good game. Marlon Mack, though, 174 rushing yards against the Chargers. He went off on 25 carries. He had himself a game. Marlon Mack carrying the ball against the Chargers rush defense. All right, we got 3:29 to see what happens here on the clock. The Saints with the ball on the 1st and 10. Yeah, back to the NFC West for the AFCs next season. So the Cardinals, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks in the NFC West for the AFC East next season. As we are getting ready to go back to action right now in this game. Okay, what's going on with my stream? It just froze up for a second. Okay, I got it back here. 1st and 10 coming up for the Saints. I formation under center for Drew Brees right now. Drew Brees takes the snap, hands it off. Left side cut, Kamara. Kamara tried to go for a stiff arm, gained around one of the plays. He's tackled at the 9-yard line. So they're at the Saints' 9-yard line right now. 91 yards to the end zone. And this is a huge drive for the Saints right now. 3:10 left to go in the 4th quarter. Brings up a 2nd and 9 coming up. Yeah, Kyler Murray completing the comeback against the Detroit Lions. The game ended in a tie, tied up at 27. But kudos to Kyler Murray, first ever NFL start. Him throwing the ball early on in that game, it was rough. 9 for 25 passing, but his passing percentage went up and up and up throughout that game. Brees takes the snap, passes, right side complete to Thomas. Thomas gets around a gain of 6 on the play, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and short coming up for the Saints here, with a 3rd and 2 scenario. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Kyler Murray can do throughout the season, progressing throughout the second half of that Lions game, especially in the 4th quarter. They were down by 18 points in that 4th quarter. They almost came back and won it. 3rd and 2 coming up with 2:20 remaining. One more play by the Saints before the 2-minute warning. They'll take this down with around 2:04 left to go on the clock before the 2-minute warning, probably. It's 2:10 left to go on the clock. 5 in the play clock. 2:10 left to go in the game clock. Brees here with 1 on the play clock. He gets the snap off with 2:04 left to go. Brees back to pass deep down the sideline. And it's complete. 1st down. Dragged down at the 45 of Texans territory in the completed pass as it goes to Ted Ginn Jr. A 3rd and 2 at the 2-minute warning, and Drew Brees airs it out right there for a deep pass to Ted Ginn Jr. for the 1st down play. Airs it out in the air. Watch how it's done. Yes, indeed. Drew Brees, the legend. 19 seasons in the NFL, and he throws it to a vet as well, the former Carolina Panther, Ted Ginn Jr., who had 10 receiving touchdowns for Carolina back in 2015. But Ted Ginn Jr. hauling in a big ball right there for a 1st down play, all the way down to the 44-yard line of Texans territory. That is a game changer. And we've hit the 2-minute warning. 1:57 left to go on the clock in the 4th quarter here when we get back from commercial break. So, what a game here, passing the ball by Drew Brees tonight. After the interception, everything else, he's been pretty stellar throughout the rest of this game. That is for sure. Let's see if I can pull up the numbers here for Drew Brees from the Saints. So we'll go through what the box score looks like right now. Brees passing. 29 for 38 passing by Drew Brees tonight. 335 yards in the air. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. He only took 1 sack today. The interception was in the 1st quarter, by the way. Someone told Vaughn, if your team is in the AFC, don't watch football. Aw, man, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. It was a good game, though, yesterday. Bills versus Jets. Sorry about that, Vaughn, though, with the Jets, with the Bills mounting the comeback. The reason why, though, basically, was C.J. Mosley. The Jets got killed without C.J. Mosley on the field as the leading signal caller for the Jets defense as a middle linebacker. He went down late, like, towards the middle of the second half with a groin injury. And then after that, Josh Allen was just gushing up the Jets defense, just completing pass after pass after pass. And then Devin Singletary killed the Jets yesterday. Frank Gore didn't. Frank Gore was terrible. But Devin Singletary, when they put Devin Singletary into the game, he had 4 carries for 70 yards, and he just destroyed the Jets single-handedly. And then John Brown, too, with a huge touchdown reception. John Brown had like 12 receptions yesterday. I'm liking, though, Jamison Crowder, though, for the Jets. He got a bunch of volume in yesterday's game. Jamison Crowder did. So that's good, though, to see, though, for Sam Darnold. Somebody to pass it to. They have Jamison Crowder now from the Washington Redskins. So that's good to hear, though, if you're a Jets fan, that they've got Jamison Crowder. So that's very good. So we got 2 minutes left to go in this game. And the run up the middle. Kamara gets it for the first down in the first play after the 2-minute warning. This game looks like it's almost done. 3 timeouts, though, by the Texans do remain, but the Saints can end it here with a touchdown drive. They're pounding this ball down the field right now. The Texans do have to take timeouts eventually. Breeze, though, a legend in the book indeed. He'll go into the Hall of Fame, just airing it out on a 3rd and 2 to Ted Ginn Jr. You'd think that he'd run the ball, but no, Sean Payton willing to throw it, and he's got the guts like that. With 1:51 left to go, the Texans did take a timeout. So 1st and 10 coming up for the Saints right now. Yeah, looks like this one's over, Brent. Ball at the 33-yard line of Texans territory. The Texans have 2 timeouts remaining, 123 yards total rushing in the second half by the Saints. Total difference as they hand it off right side, and that is a gain of 5 in the play to Latavius Murray. I said right at halftime what the Saints needed to do better going into the second half was to run the ball more. And that's something that they've definitely done well in the second half. Kudos to Alvin Kamara. He's the man. 12 carries for 92 yards by Kamara in this game. He's also got 7 receptions for 72 yards. Kamara's broken numerous tackles throughout this entire game tonight. So we got a second down play coming up on the field here after this timeout by the Texans once again. Texans just trying to stop the Saints before they get any more into field goal range. 1:47 left to go, ball at the 29-yard line. HB toss left side over to Kamara. Kamara getting stopped, and he stopped for a loss there. That's a big tackle. Taking them back around the 35-yard line towards the edge of field goal range for Will Lutz. So 35-yard line right now of Texans territory. This will be a big 3rd down coming up here for the New Orleans Saints. It will be a 3rd down coming up here for the Saints. I believe it'll be a 3rd and 11 coming up. Yes, it will. So 3rd and 11, 1:41 left to go in the 4th quarter. Bill Belichick in 2021. I saw something that said it's 2049. Bill Belichick is still coaching the team at, I believe, 96 years old, and Tom Brady is still the quarterback at 70 years old. I saw somebody post a meme of that the other day. Alright, 3rd and 11 coming up for the Saints right now. And my stream just froze as I have a 3rd and 11 right now coming up on the field. And they did a run for it. Gain of 5 on the play brings up a 4th and 6. So that was a run right there. Gain of 5 in the play. Minute 20 left to go in the 4th quarter. And this clock keeps on going down. Texans have 0 timeouts left. So this clock will go down to past a minute remaining. And Drew Brees will go for it. Appears maybe for a 4th and 6. They have the offense right out. They're going to take the play clock and maybe call a timeout with under a minute left to go. We'll see here. Yep, so Sean Payton will take a timeout with 55 seconds remaining. So Sean Payton to take a timeout with 55 seconds remaining on the 4th and 6 coming up. This is a big play call if they do indeed go for it. The ball is at the 35-yard line or so. Actually past the 35-yard line at the 20, at the 30, I believe. Yeah, 30-yard line because they get the 5-yard gain. So it'll be a 47-yard field goal coming up for Will Lutz if they do indeed kick it for the Saints. Yeah, so unfortunate for the Dolphins yesterday. So unfortunate, but you still got 15 more games left to go in the season. Anything can happen, especially the Patriots when they were embarrassed last season in Miami Miracle and loss. So Will Lutz coming on to attempt a 47-yard field goal. This kicks up from the left hash. This one's up, straight through the uprights, up and good by Will Lutz. It's 27-21 New Orleans. So they have a 6-point lead, and Deshaun Watson will have 50 seconds with a football to see if he can put together the go-ahead touchdown. But I am feeling, with this Saints defense, you got to be feeling comfortable that the Saints are going to walk away with a W. But Deshaun Watson, 40 rushing yards today with a rushing touchdown so far in this game. That actually the Texans have had 183 rushing yards throughout this entire game. But Deshaun Watson is on the field to see if he can put together a game-winning drive here for the Houston Texans since they just held the Saints to a field goal. Drew Brees, 29 for 38 passing tonight, 335 yards in the air. Watson trying to go on to see if he can get the go-ahead game winner, 18 for 28 passing, 193 yards passing, 2 touchdown passes and a pick. Both of these quarterbacks, Brees and Watson, 2 TDs and a pick tonight. Carlos Hyde, the leading rusher for the Texans, 10 carries, 83 yards. Alvin Kamara, 13 carries for 97 yards. So 50 seconds remaining. The Saints will kick off this ball to the Texans here. Saints have to prevent anything from going into the end zone. This kick goes out of bounds by Lutz. So the Houston Texans will get this ball back with 50 seconds on the clock here. We will see if Deshaun Watson can put together his 6th ever career game-winning drive. He has 5 game-winning drives in the 4th quarter or in overtime, tied for the 2nd most in the NFL, and he's only in his 3rd season here in the NFL. The Saints fans on their feet, trying to close out this game with the Saints defense. Deshaun Watson under center. We have 50 seconds left to go in this game right now. Deshaun Watson in the shotgun with a running back towards his left. That's Duke Johnson, the pass catching back. Watson takes the snap, back to pass. He passes it deep down left sideline and is hauled in. DeAndre Hopkins, oh my goodness, he catches it at the 36-yard line of New Orleans territory. DeAndre Hopkins working right there, and Marshawn Lattimore has a step on him in coverage and beats him at the 36-yard line for a first down, and they're already in the Saints territory. Shotgun formation once again. 43 seconds remaining. The clock is stopped here in the 4th quarter. Calling the audible for Watson. Watson in the shotgun right now. Takes the snap. Feels the pressure from the right side. Gets it off. And going to the end zone. Touchdown. Caught in. Kenny Stills. Where have you been? He catches the touchdown grab. That is a 2-play, 75-yard drive by the Texans. And they have tied it up at 27 apiece. An extra point by Fairbairn can tie this thing up. What a game. What a game between both of these teams. It looked like the Saints were going to win this minutes ago. Deshaun Watson, are you kidding me? With that pass to the end zone, Kenny Stills, the former Dolphin, hauling in the pass for the touchdown. That is his 3rd reception of the game at this point. What an impact he had on that play. Fairbairn for a crucial extra point. Here it is. The extra point's up. Oh! He misses it! He misses it right to the right. We are tied at 27. Oh my goodness. Cammy Fairbairn, but wait. There's a flag on the field. Hold it, everybody. There's a flag on the field. Fairbairn missed it wide to the right. Roughing the kicker by the Saints special teams. Replay the field goal. C.J. Gardner-Johnson roughed the kicker. And we're going to have to redo the field goal or redo the extra point all over it again for Fairbairn. Roughing the kicker. Let's see here in the replay. His foot was already planted. You gotta be kidding me. This is unbelievable. Fairbairn misses it wide to the right. Wow. Way wide to the right. This could be the decider. Second attempt here for Fairbairn. 37 seconds left. Extra point held. Fairbairn, this time's up. This one is good. 28 Houston. 27 New Orleans. Can you believe it? Wow. This is insane. What a game we have. Thanks so much, guys, for everybody for joining me here on the Sportscaster stream. I appreciate it. Same as Final Yard Football on YouTube. We have ourselves one hell of a game. Drew Brees will have 37 seconds to operate and see if he can get his team to score a touchdown. This has been an insane game all day long. What a game. Roughing the kicker. The difference possibly here tonight. We will see. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I had the Saints winning this game. The Saints had probably a 95% chance to win this game after Drew Brees threw a bullet down the field to Ted Ginn and forced the 3 timeouts to happen. Brees is getting ready. He has 37 seconds to heat up this clock and see if he can put together a game-winning drive. If you're the returner here for the Saints, do not take this out of the end zone if the ball is indeed kicked into the end zone. Don't pull a timeout Montgomery here, as this ball is indeed kicked to the back of the end zone, so they'll take it out from their own 25. Alright, 37 seconds. Drew Brees on the clock. Hold my beer. We'll see what he has to do in store. 19 seasons in the NFL, 12-time Pro Bowler, the all-time NFL passing yards leader. I'm sure that he's got something up the bag here with Sean Payton and the tricks up their sleeve right now in this game. 37 seconds left to go. This is crushing if the Saints lose on that play. Roughing the kicker. That would be crushing. That would be crushing by the rookie. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the 4th-round draft pick. Brees takes the snap. 35 seconds left to go. Back to pass, right side. And it's complete. First down again. Down at the 40-yard line. He has 60 yards to the end zone. They're going to have to spike it. 28, 27. The clock's moving right now for Brees. He calls spike it. 23, 22, 21. He spikes it at 20. Drew Brees clocks the ball with 20 seconds. 2nd and 10 coming up. Ball at the Saints 40-yard line. 60 yards to the end zone. 1 timeout remaining for New Orleans. And they'll have 20 seconds left to go in this game. What a game, guys. Hit that like button if you're on YouTube right now. If you're on Sportscaster, feel free to join my stream and become a fan of mine as well. Incredible game. Will Lutz, 3 for 4 on lead-changing field goal attempts in the last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter or overtime. We have an incredible game here. All they need to do, put Lutz in field goal possession, and he can wet it. He's got a great leg, can boot it. Brees takes the snap, 20 seconds remaining. Brees back to pass, left side, and it's complete at midfield. They're going to take the timeout, I hope. 14, 13, clock's ticking. What are you doing? What are you doing? 11, 10, they're not taking it. You have 1 timeout. 8, 7, 6, 5. They clock it at 6. They clock it at 6. You have 1 timeout remaining. I don't understand. Sean Payton, man. 1 timeout remaining. 14 seconds left. What are you kidding me? Ball's at midfield even. Midfield here, 50-yard line, 6 seconds remaining. I don't believe it that you don't take your final timeout there. You got to be quick with this. Little out route. You got to get this complete here if you're Drew Brees. This is for the game. 6 seconds remaining. Little quick out route. If not, you're going for the Hail Mary. They got to get the ball to at least a 40 to put them in field goal position. That would make it a 57-yard field goal. Brees in the shotgun going 5 wide empty right now. 2nd and 10. Ball at midfield for the Saints. This will be the game with 6 seconds remaining. Needs to throw an out route to the out-of-bounds line. Brees takes the snap, passes, and it's complete to the 40 even. Ginn gets down with 2 seconds remaining, and the 57-yard field goal attempt will be on the clock for Phil Lutz to see if he can win it. What a game here. It's all about Lutz now. 57-yard field goal attempt coming from Lutz. As Breeze connected to Ted Ginn Jr. in the middle of the field. Got the first down at the 40, and Lutz will come on to see if he can boot this one for the game-winning kick. He is 28 for 30 last season on field goals. 93%. Only missed 2 field goals. His career long is 57 yards. 2016 against the Falcons. Will Lutz do it tonight? 4th-year kicker in the NFL. 58-yard attempt, actually. It was down at the 41. 58-yard attempt. Here we go. It's up. It is down the middle for the win. Oh, my goodness. It is in. It is over. Will Lutz, the hero, baby. 30-28. Coming in the clutch, the Saints have won it. They have done it. Will Lutz puts the kick of his life through the uprights. 58 yards, his career long, and this one has gone final. One hell of a game. The Saints have done it as they have won it. 30-28, the final. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness, what a hold. Morstead with a hold. Will Lutz dead center on the kick. He could have booted that one from 65. Right in the dome. Oh man. Bails out the Saints tonight. Incredible, Will Lutz. This is a whole total team effort by the New Orleans Saints. This team is going to be tough to beat tonight. If you're the Texans, hold your heads up because the Texans look like a playoff contender too. 2 good teams, 2 teams bound for the playoffs. I have them for. What a game. Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins. It all came down to a 58-yard field goal to decide this one. Oh, man, what a game, guys. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me here. If you guys are on Sportscaster right now, feel free to join me for the post-game as well. It all came down to a 58-yard field goal by Lutz right there. Will Lutz for the kick of his life. 58 yards, he nails it. It has gone final right now. The final score, the New Orleans Saints 30, the Houston Texans 28 here on the Sports Dish on Sportscaster. What an incredible game. Oh my goodness, what a game. A game for the ages for sure on Monday Night Football. This is how we start out the season on Monday night. An incredible game. It was indeed. As this game has gone final. What a game with Lutz kicking the ball right there. Through the upright. We're going to look towards some of the statistics right now. And this is what it went down to. 32 for 43 passing by Drew Brees. 370 yards in the air. 2 touchdown passes. Did have an early interception pass in the red zone to Whitney Merciless. Alvin Kamara, man. He was just running over the Texans defense. 13 carries, 97 yards by Kamara in this game. And then receiving Kamara just took off. 7 receptions, 72 yards. Michael Thomas, 123 reception yards. 10 receptions by Can't Guard Mike. 13 in action tonight. Latavius Murray, 6 carries, 43 yards. Ted Ginn had some big receptions late in this game. Setting up that field goal, by the way. Ted Ginn had a reception at the 41-yard line. 7 catches, 101 yards for the 13-year vet Ted Ginn. Jerry Cook, 2 receptions, 37 yards for the Saints. DeAndre Hopkins, 8 receptions for 111 yards. And Deshaun Watson's stats look like this. 20 completions out of 30 attempts. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Carlos Hyde, the leading ball carrier for Houston. 10 carries, 83 yards. But unfortunately for Houston tonight, it's not enough in the dome because Will Lutz, the kick of his life, 58 yards out, dead center through the middle. It could have been good from 65 as this game is finished. Oh my goodness, the game of the ages right now on Monday Night Football. If you guys thought that Chiefs versus Rams was good last season in the shootout, you got yourself a game to open up Monday Night Football just like that. Week 1 of the season, you gotta be kidding me. Game winner Will Lutz. And man, Saints fans have something finally to cheer about that they're looking forward to this season. This Saints team looks dangerous. Same as the Texans. Both of these teams look like they're going to go to the playoffs. And we just saw a playoff preview tonight between these 2 teams go down. This Saints team, man, kudos to them. All the pieces are there together. It was going to be a crusher. Will Lutz had missed that. It would have been a crusher, that whole roughing the kicker penalty. It would have been a crusher on that by the rookie that had the roughing the kicker penalty on the extra point with 36 seconds left that he roughed Kamini Fairbairn, but Will Lutz, the other kicker, did it. He got it straight through. It would have been good from 65 as this game has gone final. Hey, we have a score update here into the studio. I thought that the Broncos defense would crush Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. Was proving me not here. Oakland, 7-0. They're winning this game. So Oakland has the lead. Derek Carr is a perfect 5-for-5 passing with a touchdown pass. So guess you don't need Antonio Brown. He gets a touchdown pass. But signing off, guys. Thanks so much for watching. What a game indeed for the ages. Hey, thanks so much, Nick, for joining me. I appreciate that, my man. I should be back. Next stream should be on Sunday. Pats versus Dolphins when I do get back. When I come home on Saturday afternoon. But thanks so much for watching here, guys, on Final Yard Football on YouTube. I'm going to end the YouTube stream right now and the Sportscaster stream right after that. So thanks so much for watching as this is Final Yard Football on YouTube. It ends in a field goal. Will Lutz, the hero, 30-28. The final as the Saints win it by 2.